Like you are like a religion, right? You are a religion without God and
We're kind of playing with words.
Of course, Arvind. Like even you play with words. You're a master of it.
Hey, do you,
because you want to hear what you want to hear, Arvind. You are making an assumption.
When I'm answering a question, if you open up another can of worms, which worms do you attend to first?
There are many worms.
Is this usually the way you usually talk? I don't know. It comes off, a lot of it to me personally, if I hope it's not offensive, comes up as mumbo jumbo. Okay, I'm asking you straightforward questions. This is not rocket science.
Bro, I have problems with that question. Like, you'll have to like force them, like put words into their mouth.
Wow, imagine folks putting words in someone's mouth or putting knives in someone's throats. Wow, totally. Yeah.
Look, audience, like if you're watching this, pretty sure, you would like cut this part, but yeah.
Is that how you see me? You see the kind of me as a manipulative person? There has to be trust, right?
Because there are many other contributing, factors.
Yeah, I don't believe you one bit on that. That's what you say, but I don't believe you one bit on that.
Look, now, who's not believing me?
I asked you, do you trust me in terms of debate etiquette? And now you're asking me whether I don't trust you in what you're saying in the debate. Don't you see that debate etiquette and debate are two different things?
Arvind.
Interested in going vegan? Watch Arvind's full guide to being vegan in India.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Face to Face with Arvind. And today's episode is actually quite a special one for two reasons. Number one, this is the 20th podcast I'm doing. In fact, this is the final podcast of this whole series. And number two, our guest is actually here from abroad. We're not, weird enough, even though it's face to face with Arvind, we're not necessarily face to face. I invite Vishwa from all the way from New Zealand to the show. Welcome, bro.
Yeah, thank you so much, Arvind.
How are you doing?
Awesome, and really, grateful for this opportunity. To talk to you and get to know more about you and your ideology.
Fair enough. So let's just talk about. What time is it there right now?
It's going to be 9:45.
Yikes. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sparing the time for this. It's just 2:15 here. So, how did you, first of all, I want to come to know about the fact that I'm doing this series of podcasts? Have you been like following me for a while? Like, how did you come to know?
You're everywhere, Arvind. You're everywhere. So if I open my Instagram, I see your reels. Mm-hmm. If I open YouTube, I see either your videos or like someone else who is either critiquing you or who is like in all praises of you. So yeah, it was quite interesting. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. And what made you like decide that about yourself, first of all? We can also put up on screen while we're editing the video. Where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram and on YouTube under the name BKbotalks. So I call it BKbo. It's BKbo.
It's not Botox, it's like a pun
the
on
BKbo,
the
yeah.
No, it's not. Oh, okay.
It's not,
okay.
and it doesn't have a meaning. Like it doesn't mean anything.
All right, fine. And for how long have you been a content creator?
About more than a year, though. Yeah.
That's it. And you were motivated to do what do you speak about usually?
I use a bit of philosophy, but it's I've learned to convert my curiosity into content with some fun and also include more more layers.
Okay.
Yeah. So what started
this is
as
your real voice, just to check.
Yes. This is
How
so the other one that you see is basically I do a pitch shift of my voice.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's.
Until I heard your voice message on Instagram DM, I was wondering which is this guy's voice. I was like, yo, this guy has a deep voice. Like, holy crap.
I keep getting asked, are you guys the same or are you guys twins? Yeah, a lot.
Awesome. Okay. So I got to know about you because I saw this comment several months ago. Oops, if only I can find it. Give me a minute. We have to make it spicy, right? So give me a second. Where was this? 1 second, guys. Boom. BKbotalks. There we go. And I quote, "This is nothing but engagement strategy mafia at work. They know exactly how to hook people into an us versus them narrative." So what were you on about, man?
Yeah, it's exactly us, man. We're doing this for engagement. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We want to garner attention. We want to capture the audience attention. We want to influence them. So that somehow, we, generate revenue or we, gather more attention, we drive the algorithm, towards us. That's what this is all about.
So we're the mafia.
Yeah. Absolutely, we are.
We are the mafia. Oh, no. The reason why I had to clarify this is because in Tamil Nadu, I don't know if you're aware of this, bro. In Tamil Nadu, the moment you use the word mafia, they're like, mama, mafia irkanda, Belurla kastaranga. So that's why I had. So you're not saying that. I hope, is that like you're not saying that this guy is right now being paid by his overlords to come and spread up some kind of idea.
Maybe you are. Maybe you are being paid, Maybe you are being paid, like maybe I'm being paid, you don't know who's like behind me.
But what
you never know.
I just want to know what you meant in the comment though. You just meant us though. In the comment you meant it's just in general.
So,
okay.
Yeah, so in general, what I mean was, when we put content out there, it's like more around, how do I get in people to either like stand by my side or like stand against me, so that it just helps.
Right.
Like gathering more audience and like this is basic human psychology.
Okay. So this podcast is going to be, we're going to talk about veganism, and you told you wanted to focus mainly on the ethical philosophy of veganism, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes.
Right. So just kick things off, could you, for me, just define the word vegan as you understand it? Like, how would you define the word vegan?
Surprisingly, I was into a vegan diet like many years ago. Like I completely believed in the philosophy. I thought, like being a vegan, I'm doing a great thing. I believe that, like I'm reducing, suffering. I was in the vegan diet, and eventually, like I couldn't, keep up with it. So I thought maybe this is not for me. But I never thought like very deeply about its philosophy. So it was all about. It was an opportunity for me to reduce. It was an opportunity for me to reduce suffering.
When was this? Like, when was
this was 10 years ago, easily.
Okay,
like
and
2014,
why?
2015.
What you were born and raised, I believe, in a meat-eating family, meat, dairy, and egg-consuming family?
No, absolutely not. Like I was born and raised in a vegetarian family. In a vegetarian family.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Yes,
okay.
I am. Yeah,
and you still, when it comes to your diet, you consume animal products? Like you consume only dairy products, or even meat and eggs?
I eat meat, I eat everything.
Eat everything. All right.
Yeah.
And but back then when you did make the shift, you were a vegetarian? Or you were someone who still ate everything?
I was eating meat, right? So I started eating meat at a very young age. So my parents were okay with it. So
okay, fine.
I just loved it. Like,
so
I just
what pushed you then, Vishwa? Like for you saying 10 years ago you did want to become vegan, what was the reasoning for that?
I watched like videos similar to what you do right now. They show you animal torture videos, right? So they put you in this guilt trap. Well, of course, they claim that they don't, but then eventually, that's what happens to a human is that, they watch it and they constantly, they are in this belief that, that they're causing harm. They are, they are killing animals, for their benefit. And, that's the kind of idea that I had. And, I thought, I should do something good. And I felt good to be a part of something, that was like bigger. Like, I saw that there was in a community, there was like lots of discussions, and much of these discussions were actually around hate. Hate being, I'm constantly.
Vishwa, one second. I'm so sorry. It says that is it our internet connection that's unstable, or is it yours? Like yours is fine?
I don't see anything at my end.
Okay, sorry. It said mine is unstable. So sorry. Yeah. So if it happens again, I'll let you know.
Sure.
But yeah. So okay, I got it. So that's how you changed. That's experiences you got. Okay, got it. Fair enough. But again, I ask you the question.
So can I continue on that?
Go on.
Yeah. So the more like I got involved in these like conversations and especially like that time, especially when content creation, was not much of a thing. Like a lot of videos were being circulated on YouTube. So where I started like feeling, that this was really getting on my head was I was constantly going and commenting on like people's like food choices. You go and comment, hey, you're a meat eater, this, that, so like I felt, well, at that moment I didn't feel like I just couldn't keep up with the diet. But now when I think about it, it was I needed something. I felt that my life was empty. Right, because like growing up in an urbanized society, especially in India, you lose touch with your like culture, tradition, and the whole narrative is around. Come on, leave those old things. Be a rationalist, this and that. So then you eventually you want to find something that is modern and anything that which you can be a part of and feel proud about, right? So now when I think about it, it feels I wanted to feel like morally superior, right? That I was doing a great thing, because I couldn't do that, say, with a religion or with a spiritual tradition. Like, I couldn't boast about saying, hey, you know what, I belong to this and that, I'm doing a great thing. But being a vegan sort of like gave me that ticket to do that. None of this really struck me back then. It's all now. Like, it's all now, when I think about it, oh, okay, so this is what was happening. I felt empty, and then there was this, there was this platform, there was this great ideology, that did really offer me some, solace. So yeah. Yes, so yeah, that's
your story. Got
my
it. That's
vegan
your
journey
background.
at a high level.
Got it.
Yeah.
So now I'd ask you again, though, could you define the word veganism for me? Because I don't think we know that yet.
Veganism.
Define the word veganism, yeah. Because
Okay,
if we're going to talk about it, we have to set a definition. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I'll give you my definition, then I will ask you, because I feel I lack the knowledge, and I don't know much about like veganism, so I'll accept that I don't know much about veganism. So I'll be wanting to know much from you, because you preach veganism. So according to me, veganism, especially from like what I've heard from people like you and others, so veganism is about like making food choices that reduces animal suffering. That's all. Right, so pain of like sentient beings. So do not consume them, do not kill them, and yet do not indulge in any breeding practices. Just to breed them and like use them for your food or for any animal products. So it's an ideology that promotes you to abstain from any animal products and animal product consumption. Like meat and dairy, etc. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my knowledge of veganism.
All right, fair enough. So I'll give you now like a proper definition of what basically it's an ideology. It is a philosophy, or you can say a belief system, where one recognizes, like you said, animals are sentient individuals, and therefore we do not exploit them. That's the definition. We do not exploit animals as commodities. You know what a commodity means? Like it's when we take commodification means you take a living, breathing, feeling creature, you stick a barcode on them, and then you can sell them and use their body. That's meaning the word commodification. So we vegans are against the exploitation and commodification of animals. I want to make this framework very clear in the beginning, because if we don't make this framework clear in the beginning, it starts going in circles as we go along the debate. Because
I have questions on the framework. That's my biggest concern.
We can get to that. So the point is, I want to make one thing very clear. Veganism is not about reducing suffering. Veganism is not about saying we kill less animals or we don't kill animals, because that's a bullshit statement. There's no such thing as cruelty-free, these kind of tags that they use when they sell products. That's all BS. Veganism is a philosophy, but humans recognize that animals are sentient, and therefore we do not exploit them as commodities. That's it. So that's the framework. You have any queries regarding the framework?
Yeah. So when you say commodification and what was the other thing that you said about animals? Like you said,
they are
like suffering or don't use. Okay, sentient. Okay, so sentient was one, and then you said we don't commodify or
we don't exploit or commodify.
Okay, exploit. Okay, yeah. So sentience, and then exploitation of animals, right? So, do you include all animals?
No, only sentient
like all
animals. Only sentient animals.
Okay, now can you define sentience?
Yeah, sentience can be defined as the ability to feel pain or suffering and have a subjective consciousness in this world. Let's be conscious, subjective awareness in this world. That is sentience.
Subjective awareness. Okay. So, is sentience a scientific absolute, or is it a human construct?
Sentience is it a human construct, you're asking me? No, it's not. It's scientific, but it's a spectrum. It's not necessarily like you can't like, it's a gradient thing. There are beings that are less sentient and less sentient as we go along, and then we come to insentient creatures. So, like for example, we human beings are the most sentient of all creatures. So I don't know if I'm answering your question. If you're asking me, it's a human construct.
How do we know that we are the most sentient?
because of what? Because of how we are able to perceive in this world, how much we're able to think. I can make a fellow human being suffer in ways you cannot make an animal suffer. You can psychologically torment them. You can
No, but that's
psychologically.
your perception of like what sentience is, right? So sentience did not come down and tell you that like, look, I'm in a spectrum. This is what I am, and human beings are the most sentient. We derive these definitions based on like what we perceive, right? So there's no like
Based on
there's
data.
no like so data will change, right? So as science progresses, we will identify more sentience, right? So the less sentience beings that we that we think today exist, maybe in a few years there'll be like we'll identify like more sentience, right? So for things like insects, maybe we consider an insect not to be sentient, but then insect as a whole, like if they're in a group, maybe the group has a level of sentience. We don't know now. Maybe in future, like scientists will be able to prove.
Right.
So
Maybe, yeah.
so yes, and also like who am I to say, or who am I like based on your care for animals and like living species, who am I to consider what animal is like more sentient or like less sentient? And if I do that, like the problem with that is if I do that, I am excluding a whole lot of species and a whole lot of interconnected like ecology, like from the topic of suffering and exploitation, right?
But,
so you guys are drawing a line. Like that's what I feel that vegans are drawing a line.
You want to
They
know
say,
why we draw the line at sentience? That's the question. Like,
no. It's not that why you draw. You draw it, right? No, you draw it because it's convenient, because you can show people the videos and you can show that that a cow is like being raped, or you can show that a cow is being tortured, like a rabbit's being tortured, like a duck's neck's being twisted. But you can't make a video of an ecology losing its balance, because you just cannot make a video like. All that you can show is, that some, tractor like plowing the field. All that you can show is that a tree is being like felled, and it doesn't add much value, or it doesn't add much to the guilt, as much as you show a cow or a goat being tortured. So, so I feel that you are excluding a lot of things. Like so, vegans. This is my criticism on you, Arvind, and like a lot of vegans. Or maybe they should consider some deep contemplation about is that like, do you really consider ecology, like ecological imbalance, like what's happening to the ecology? For example, like
can I
stop,
can I speak?
Like, if the whole let me finish.
Okay.
So if people like stop eating meat. And let's say that if they all like switch to a vegan diet, and like how you spoke, like the discussion between you and Pari, like regarding the vegan world. So let's say like that everyone like became a vegan now, which means that you will have to produce food like for all the vegans, right? Which means that you will have to use like land, and you will have to like use whatever techniques to.
Oh, hold up, one second. But going too far.
Produce food.
Hold up, So you asked a question. Now we're moving elsewhere. I have to give an answer. That I have to give a response.
Yeah.
So can I give a response first?
No. Like let me finish. So now.
This is going on a monologue for quite some time.
I will have to finish this, right? So which means that the world will now have to produce for all the vegans. And the vegans will be thinking that, look, that we are not exploiting animals. We are not commodifying animals. And they'll be in the belief that they're not doing like none of this. But what is happening in reality is that the ecology has lost its balance. There are hundreds and even like millions of species that are being exploited. So vegans show no remorse to ecology. That's my critique.
Okay. So firstly, as we had mentioned in the framework in the beginning, it's important that we stick to that, else it'll be like we're going in circles. So I said we vegans do not exploit animals as commodities, right? this whole thing you're talking about considering of ecology or environment doesn't fall under the purview of veganism in the exact same way the consideration of ecology or the ecosystem does not fall under the purview of human rights. Veganism means animal rights. We are, if in case you're not aware, our exact demands and claims are this to the government. We want to have it in law that animals can no longer be exploited or used as commodities. We want that written in law, and we want the chains to be broken free. I fail to understand how you are bringing another topic into this discussion and then saying that we vegans are quote unquote hypocrites because we're not giving consideration here.
No.
When
I didn't say you're hypocrites.
Okay, fine.
I didn't use that word.
Okay, which is the what word can I use? When we're not caring, we are biased, maybe?
No. Not caring is the right word, right? Not caring, and it's not a part of your conversations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I said, it's not a part of the conversation for the exact reason. It's also not a part of a conversation of women's rights or children's rights or any other kind of rights. This is a social justice movement. So environment.
Wait, hang on. So like, how did animal exploitation become social justice?
Because we are wanting laws to be changed, right? In the current laws right now, be it where you live or where I live, animals are written, at least in the Indian constitution, I can assure you, that animals are resources. They are objects that we can use and sell and exploit in whatever way efficiently we want to get a product and then sell. Right. So we are saying that they should not be commodities. Just like how in the past, if you look at it, there were human beings, even our ancestors, were commodified as slaves by the British, right? Then now we say, no, we are individuals. Similarly, we're asking animals to be treated as individuals and not slaves. So where does environmental or ecology even fall in this conversation? You can't go to Martin Luther King and be like, you don't care about the ecology, right? Like, you understand what's happening here? Like, you're bringing in a different subject altogether, Vishwa.
Arvind, that's because, like, most of your audience, like, believes that they are, reducing suffering. Like, I have, comments on, like, my content, like, when I posted something about, like, veganism, they posted, look, if I'm going to stop eating animals, I'm reducing, suffering. So if suffering is the core concept of this, then like, what about the suffering of other species? Like, what about the suffering of the ecology? Like, what about my own psychological suffering? That I have to deal with all these ideologies, like all these social justice movements. What about that? Like, what about the cultural wisdom? So you get my point, right? Now, someone from say a fisherman community in India. Now you go and present your ideology. You go and present your ideology to them. The first thing that they have to come into agreement is that they are exploiting like, say, like animals or fishes.
Yeah.
So they have to agree to that. Now that community has been like fishing, and then they've been providing to their family over hundreds of years or maybe even thousands of years, right? Because you and I, we're just product of, say, like civilization, rationalization, and even sometimes over rationalization, right? But they have been like thriving on the ocean for more than a millennia. Now how am I, like, how do I justify my ideological imposition on their livelihood? And like, it looks like vegans or any ideological imposers don't really care about cultural wisdom.
All right. So there's quite a few points you mentioned there. So I'll try to, I made a few notes. I'll try to go through them each point by point.
Sure.
So one thing first you mentioned was some people did comment on your channel apparently saying to you that if you become vegan, you can reduce suffering. And I'm not going to deny to you that there are vegans who say that. There are vegans. And which is why I wanted for us in the beginning itself to set the definition straight. Because if we don't, like I told you, this issue will keep coming up. I don't agree with them. I think they're wrong. And veganism, first of all, I don't even have data. Or I don't even know if veganism necessarily reduces suffering. I can't even give that statement out there. I don't even know that. Okay. But like I told you, we vegans see animals slavery happening, but saying the slavery should stop. Like, that's it. So if there is a vegan making that statement, I guess it falls upon them to bring forth the evidence to prove that, which is not a statement that I personally would want to make. You can go back and check my videos. I don't say that. I personally do not say that statement. Now, next thing, when you brought up about a fisherman community example, for example, they've been doing something for a long time, and the cultural wisdom. Oh my God, by the way, did you watch that video yesterday that got released with Pari? Did you by any chance watch some of it?
I watched most of it. Yeah.
Okay, fine. I want to ask you a question right now, bro, that I asked him, and I hope at least from you I'll get a better answer. Vishwa, are you aware of what a logical fallacy is?
A logical fallacy. Okay.
Yeah, are you aware of what it is?
Yeah, something something that something that you think is structured and and can be like proven through logical statements, ends up being incorrect because of a confirmation bias or having some sort of say belief.
Not just about a bias or belief. I would say it more so like if LHS is equal to RHS, you cannot have this LHS to reach this RHS. It's just incompatible. And how it happens is usually if we make a statement, we take it and put it in another scenario and see if it works over there. And if it doesn't, something's wrong because a formula should work everywhere, right? So that's pretty much what a logical fallacy is. And so would you first of all agree, Vishwa, that a logic, I guess, man, after talking to him the other day, like I lost a few brain cells, and to be honest, no disrespect to Pari, okay, nothing, but still, you agree at least at the very least that if someone commits a logical fallacy, it's wrong. Like, or would you argue against saying that no, logical fallacies can be committed and it's not wrong? I just want to hear your genuine opinion, bro, on this. It's wrong.
Right. Now, so first of all, like logical fallacies can be committed by anyone. I'm not asking you to commit it. It just happens. Why it happens? Why it happens is because of confirmation bias. And then you have your own like beliefs or faith or whatever. You have you have the information in hand, or you have cognitive dissonance. It can happen through multiple ways. Either consciously you do it, or you do it unconsciously.
Yeah, yes. But I didn't ask how it happens. I'm asking if someone does make a fallacy, is it? Will you agree outright it's wrong? Yeah. Go on. Sorry.
I'm coming to it. Yeah. So if it is a fallacy, and if I recognize that it's a fallacy, of course, I'll try and correct the person. I'll try and present my arguments, and that's it, right? So if it is wrong, of course, it is wrong. Yeah,
it is okay. Fine. No. So when you mentioned
if it is a fallacy, yeah.
So when you mention that fishermen, for example, how would you convince them when they have been doing it for such a long time? It's a part of their culture and all of that. Have you heard of a word called appeal to tradition fallacy? That is, just because something has been going on for a long time does not necessarily mean it's right. I mean, how will I convince them if you're asking me based on like in a pragmatic way, like, bro, like they won't listen to you? Yeah, I agree. It's not like if I go right now and hold a billboard near the ocean, they're going to listen to what I say. But your statement to justify what they're doing is a logical fallacy. Do you agree on that? It's an incorrect statement.
I could also say the same thing about the statement that you just said.
Go on.
Yes. So so you say that what was the term? Cultural.
One second, brother. Your voice got cut. Come on again.
Yeah, you said something about I'm unable to recall the exact words.
The fallacy name, you mean?
Yeah.
It's an appeal to tradition fallacy. Okay. You can Google it. By all means, please Google it.
Yeah. So appeal to tradition fallacy. Cool. Yeah. And agreed. Now, I can twist the words and I can say the same about. I can say that calling appeal to tradition a fallacy itself could be a fallacy now because it doesn't consider or it could actively ignore so many factors. You can do it, because no matter how many facts and data we collect, we only do that with whatever tools or whatever whatever information that we have, and with whatever funding that we get, of course. Right? So there could be many points, there could be many contributing factors that we could miss in the process, and we may call something like appeal to tradition in a fallacy. It could be wrong, someone just bringing up something in a cultural. It may not be cultural at all. It could have just happened 50, 60 years ago. I absolutely agree with that. I don't disagree to appeal to tradition fallacy. I don't disagree, but also at the same time, there can be instances where we want to call something as a fallacy. We can actively or unconsciously ignore the contributing factors, right? Just because we want to try and prove someone that, look,
Okay.
just because this is your tradition, it does not count towards your it does not count towards your whatever cultural wisdom, and you should be open to change.
No, that's not what we're saying. I think that's what you're confused. You're conflating two different things, Vishwa. You are now talking about the application, that if we were to say hypothetically apply veganism right now on the fishermen, there are definitely many cultural issues, there are definitely many practical issues, there are economical issues. All of those are fair. We're not right now talking about application. You're talking about application, basically. If we were to say to the fishermen, no more fishing, you have to do it the vegan way, then they're like,
no,
what the hell? Like, they have issues.
No. I was talking about the appeal to tradition fallacy. Yeah?
You were not.
Yeah.
No, you weren't. That's the point. You were not. What you were talking about is, what I'm saying is, you can say, for example, Arvind, there's a fisherman here. He's hungry. He's poor. He has nothing to eat. Screw you, Arvind. He's going to fish and eat tonight. That's a statement. It's not a fallacy. It's not a fallacy to say that. Because you're not saying, because he does that, therefore it's right. You're just saying he does that. But if you were earlier trying to justify animal exploitation, fishing, or what you want to call it, by saying, Arvind, do you not take into consideration tradition, cultural wisdom, and other things? You are saying because those things exist, therefore veganism is wrong. And veganism is what's the difference between a descriptive statement and a normative statement? Descriptive is...
No, explain.
Okay. Sorry, I don't want to get all nerdy. If you want, I'll stop this stuff. It's not like I'm trying to
please do get nerdy. Yeah,
you don't mind?
That's okay. Yeah,
okay, because some people accuse me saying that I just use jargon to... Okay. A descriptive
this is also for your audience right now, so your audience will listen to you. It's fine.
Right. A descriptive statement. Wow, bro, to talk to someone like this calmly after the previous debate is just... You're the 20th person I'm talking to right now. Like, I've had crazy experiences. You will see when the videos come out. So it's nice to talk to a calm person, to be honest. So a descriptive statement is when you just describe what's currently happening. Like, Vishwa is in the screen in front of me. That's a descriptive statement. A normative statement means, from this descriptive statement, I am now jumping to a conclusion based on ethics and values. In fact, Vishwa is sitting in the screen in front of me, therefore, I'm saying Vishwa should not be given certain rights or whatever, blah, 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 something like that. Similarly, fishermen have been having this in their culture for so long, therefore, fishing is not immoral. That's why you make the fallacy. You get my point? We jumped from a descriptive statement to a normative statement.
So my rebuttal to that was, what you call as a fallacy can itself be a fallacy. Why? Is because when you counter that, let's say that you say no, it does not amount to traditional wisdom or cultural wisdom.
I'm having net issues here. I'm so sorry. Where did we? Okay, yeah. If you can just try once more. You said no. After that, got cut. So I'll just try again with that. Is it working?
Yeah.
Can you hear me properly? Yeah. If you said no,
yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. If you said no from there.
Yeah. So basically, what I was talking about. Yeah, it was. So what you call as a fallacy. Yes, I agree to what you say. Yes, of course, there are fallacies. And for example, if I say that, yes, they. Like fishing or whatever lifestyle is a result of their cultural wisdom, and it's and they've developed this over a millennia. If I say that it's because of culture, then yes, that could be a fallacy. But also at the same time,
it's not a fallacy. That's not a fallacy, Vishwa. That's not a fallacy. You're just making a statement. That's a fact.
No. Okay. Yeah. So a fallacy is basically the statement, right? It's not them, but it's a statement.
From a statement from which you draw a conclusion. You have to draw the ethical conclusion from there.
Yeah. So likewise, look, what you call as a fallacy can also be in a fallacy because given the information that you have in hand, because okay, if you're not aware of the contributing factors, and let's say that you only have a few. Let's say that you have a very handful information in your hand, you are going to make judgments based on that, right? And you are going to frame your arguments, and you are going to challenge my statement based on that, right? But it does not capture all other contributing factors, which has led to someone's lifestyle, right? Because you and me debating is like, how is it going to help like someone who has like learned to live with ecology for over like thousands of years? Like, take for example the North Sentinelese people. So like you and me debating, like how's that going to change their lives? They have lived in that island for over like 40,000 or 60,000 years. So yeah, and we only understand a very little about them. We only understand a very little about their lifestyle. So like whatever conclusions that we draw about them is all based on the information that we have in hand.
Yeah,
right?
but I'm kind of failing to understand how this in any way relates to veganism. Like, where is this going?
Okay, so this started from the fishermen, right? So fishermen, pointed out. So I pointed that like how do you justify like preaching veganism to like fishermen community who have like lived and who have sourced their food from the ocean and who have developed a lifestyle which is much older than like you and me right now. So so you and me, like we have adopted to like urban culture, like 2-3 generations down the line, like we know more, right? But their communities have existed for so long. And it's not just the fishermen, right? So you take any tribesmen, like in Africa, you go down the mountain, and you go to like different parts of the world. So there have been tribes who have outlived like civilizations. How do you go and like justify like veganism to them? Because your veganism, like it says that look, we're also a social justice and a movement. I feel it does not. I feel it does not do justice, and it risks sidelining the communities that have outlived, say, civilizations. Yeah.
Okay. So I need some clarification on what you said. When you ask me, Arvind, how do you go around talking to these people? Are you asking like this in a rhetorical sense?
You should not, Arvind. Like that's my concern is that you should not.
So it's rhetorical. Not. Okay. You're saying I shouldn't. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
You shouldn't because you lack the knowledge and you do not have all the information that you need, and you can never source that information.
So
it's not enough right now. So yeah.
Wait. So if I can just ask you this: so if I, as a vegan activist, have the intent to want to say, quote unquote, create a vegan India, that's my aim apparently.
Yeah.
And there are members in my country, and I should not go and speak to them about this ideology of mine because they are following a lifestyle that goes on for thousands of years.
Yes.
That is literally an appeal to tradition fallacy. I mean, that's literally what I said, bro. You can see, look, I'm telling you. Okay, let's put it this way. First of all, as an activist, this is what I do. I am very much aware of the socio-economic problems in my country. India is a third world country with so much poverty and imbalance, which is why if I am to create a vegan world, I have to first convince those who are privileged, like myself, to make the switch, which therefore makes vegan products and vegan eating more normalized and more available and cheaper to others in society, so they too have access to it. Then I can go to them and ask them. But as of this point in time, I'm focusing on people who are privileged enough to have 100 to 120 rupees a day for food. They can be vegan in this country, and it's for them I'm giving this message.
Why do you even care about logical arguments if you are just imposing your belief system? Right?
I have not begun to impose them yet.
You're just like someone who's preaching a religion. Like you did tell me that it's a belief system. You never told me that it's based on data, like rationality. No, absolutely not.
See,
it is a belief system. It is an ideology. You did mention that it's a belief system.
Yeah.
Look, I'm imposing my belief system. I'm not reducing suffering. I only we're very specific about exploitation of like sentient animals.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it doesn't encompass like the whole ecosystem. It's very selective in its nature, and you stay blind to all other exploitations. You choose to stay blind to every other like ecological imbalance that could be happening, and you're very specific about animal exploitation only.
Yes, Vishwa.
Going by what you claim, so going by what you claim, like you have admitted that it's a belief system. So why do you go and preach your belief system to people who already have a belief system?
Right, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Why is that? Like you're open to eat anything, right? Now you can eat vegan food. I have no problems against it, right? If I want to eat, man, like I've done this in the past. Like I choose to like go on a vegan diet, I do it. But this is horrendous. I feel like you're going and then you're preaching your ideology to others, and then you want to convert them. Why? It's because you dream of a vegan India. It's why because you dream of a vegan world. Like what's right about it? What's right about it? Like I'm not saying it's wrong. What's right about it?
Right. So if I can just see, this is the problem. You spoke a lot of stuff. Now I've kind of lost track of what you said initially. But okay, I'll try to.
Yeah, when I lost track, when you went into like tradition, like appeal to tradition in a fallacy,
fine.
I literally lost track. Yeah.
Okay. So just to answer your final question as to why do I not just keep this to myself and why I go around preaching about this, that's because veganism by itself, the ideology has an expansionist mindset in it. Because if there is an animal here, say in front of us a chicken or a pig or whatever, I don't say it's immoral or wrong if Arvind harms the pig or chicken. I say it's immoral or wrong to harm the pig or chicken. So it doesn't matter whether the one who's exploiting the animal happens to be Arvind, happens to be Vishwa, or anybody else. I'm saying the animal has intrinsic value. Therefore, nobody should be harming them. Therefore, even when you do it, I take offense to it, and therefore I try talking to you and try to convince you not to do it. Do you understand why, first of all? Just like how women's rights is also expansionist, minority rights is expansionist, right? Just like fighting against apartheid is expansionist, because these are things that if you're saying if you use the word justice, if we are now seeing injustice, we want to expand justice and wipe out the injustice. So that's why we're expansionists. That's why we preach so much. Do you understand where we come from? Whether you agree with us or not, do you understand where we come from, our mindset?
Absolutely. I absolutely see where you're coming from.
And one more thing, I don't but now. You mentioned about religion. You told like ours is like religion.
Yes, yes it is. I have no doubt, man.
Yeah.
So, you are like a religion, right? You are a religion without God, and
if I can just contest that.
No, because you said it's a belief system, right? And you said it's a belief system. You have a very idealistic mindset. You believe in like expansion. Like you go preach, you convert people, you expand.
Can I comment on that, please?
You don't believe in pluralism. You want to convert everybody. Like you want to convert the tribals, like the people who have outlived civilizations. You believe in converting them as well.
I did not make that statement.
Absolutely not, because you said.
Told you.
Because you said that you believe in a vegan India. Like, what does that mean? Like, what does that imply?
Sure.
Arvind?
Yeah. So again, you got to let me talk, bro. So let me make a note of these things just to make sure we miss nothing.
Yeah.
Why do I believe in a vegan India? Followed by what about tribes? Am I right? And first of all, I'm like a religion. So these 3 points. Let me cover these 3 points right now. So first of all, in regards to calling us a religion, I would disagree on that statement for the following reason.
No, that's my belief. See, that's my belief, right?
Right.
You can disagree, but that's my belief.
And
that's my observation. That's my observation, and that's my belief. And I have a very expansionist idea about my own beliefs, and I will capitalize on it. Right. And I will go and preach to people that, hey, look.
Will you let me respond to the previous comments that I've noted down, please?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Go ahead.
So first of all, to call us a religion, here's where I disagree on that. Okay. Religion involves belief, okay? Whereas we are basing veganism, although you can definitely call it a belief system, falls under the umbrella of ethics and morality. And
even religion falls under ethics and morality, right? Most of the ethics and...
I let you speak, bro. I have to speak right now. I did not cut you short.
Even religion draws...
I did not cut you short, Vishwa. I never stopped when you speak. I spoke when you spoke. I have a chance to speak back, right?
Yeah, I'm just making sure that you don't, like jump into another topic and then probably like drag this into like another conversation.
Well,
I'm just worried about that.
But no, but I feel that happens when you speak too. But I guess at one point we have to let the other person talk, else this will go nowhere. So what I'm saying is why it's not like religion is because veganism falls under the umbrella of ethics and morality. Now, ethics and morality cannot be decided by facts alone. Facts alone do not decide morals. We have facts plus a value, and then we arrive at morality. The facts that I'm stating is that animals are sentient. The value that I am bringing here is that I have empathy towards animals. Therefore, when I combine the two, I get veganism. That is where I arrive on this. This is how I arrive. It's not about faith. It's about values and facts put together. So first of all, it's not a religion. It's like saying that's a religion is like saying feminism is a religion. Or again, like fighting for equal rights for all races is a religion. It's
Being
not,
a religion and like a religion are two different things. Maybe feminism is not recognized as a religion, or like veganism is not recognized as a religion. But then veganism, just as you said, it's a belief system. It's based out of ethics and morality. It has an expansionist mindset.
Yep.
So so you have like very clearly pointed out that look, we have an agenda. Right,
Yeah.
you have an
Oh,
agenda.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
like
Oh,
people,
totally.
there's this notion of agenda, right? So yes. So you have an agenda. You you have to expand, and then probably you will also accept any amoral things that happen, which will allow like your expansion. Yes, of course you will. Yeah, of course you will.
No.
Yeah, no, because it is like if it is allowing like veganism to expand, like you would allow like all those small immoral things to happen in order to expand veganism. Yes.
So
And also you will allow for all, say, ecological imbalances, like loss of ecological, stewardship.
Again,
Yeah.
I never even
Would you
got
allow
over
that?
I never even got over the religion part. So but you want to go in depth on this right now before I go to like what about tribes?
Let's stay in the religion part, yeah.
You want
Let's
to stay in the religion for
part.
now? You want to go in depth here? Okay,
yeah.
fine. So when you again make these statements, I just want to make sure that you and me on the same page on this. So you are saying veganism is a religion or is like a religion? Just be clear
It's
on
like
that.
it's
Okay, fine.
like a religion based
Oh.
on the statements you've made.
All right. Now, would you also, in the same vein, Vishwa, be at least honest enough to accept then that women's rights, children's rights, rights for minorities, fights for immigrants, rights for any kind of thing that we call as civil liberties, all of it is like a religion? Could you please accept that as well? To be consistent. If we are like a religion, they are also like a religion. Could you please accept?
It's my choice.
No, I'm asking you now to be logically consistent. You can choose not to, but I can show to you
Yes.
you're being illogical. You can choose not to, bro. But I can
choose not to.
Of course, you
And I
choose to do
said,
anything.
It's
Yeah.
my choice. I'm telling you that my choice to accept. It's my statement
Is your choice
where I
to
mentioned that
It's your choice
veganism
to-
is like a religion. And I said this. So just because I said this, I don't have to accept that I regard feminism or any other rights activism as a religion. Like I don't have to make that statement, right? So I've only
think
made statement.
You're conflating something. When I say have to, I think you're taking it to like, oh, I'm
You
commanding you or
asked me to
something.
accept. You are right, and I said no. I have the choice. Yep, and I regarded like veganism is like a religion based on your statements. That's all.
No, again, I'm saying to you, you have
Said that I don't have to accept like
no,
everything
no.
else,
What's
or
happening
I don't
here
have to
is
regard everything else
You're
as a
kind of
religion.
playing with words. You're kind
Of
playing
course,
with words
of course, Arvind. Like even you play with words. Like you're a master of it.
Hold up, buddy. So
You're a master of it. Yeah.
So again, what I'm saying to you is, when I say, can you accept this? What I'm saying to you is that you can choose not to. Okay, of course. But do you agree that you are logically inconsistent by not accepting that? If you wish to make claim A and you do not make claim B, do you agree that you are logically inconsistent? You can choose not to agree, but do you agree you're inconsistent?
See, if I consciously choose to accept or not accept, that has no implications on logical consistency, because I may have like things running in my mind. So I know if I'm being consistent or not. So if I don't accept, if I don't publicly make that statement, that doesn't amount to any logical consistency or inconsistency. My statement was very clear on veganism, that it is like a religion based on your statements.
Yeah,
Just based on your statements.
Yeah, and those statements further, it's expansionist in mindset. One thing.
Yes.
What are the other statements I made? Could you just jog my memory? Like
a belief system.
It's a belief system. And
yes, it's a belief system, and it's based on ethics and morality.
Fair enough. Okay, these three things, right?
Yeah.
It's expansionist
Yeah.
belief system based on ethics
Yeah.
and morality. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I ask you, all the other civil liberty movements are also a belief system based on ethics and morality that have an expansionist mindset. Do you draw the parallel here or not? Do you see the parallel here or not between these two?
if there is an ideology, if it is expansionist, and if it is purely based on beliefs and ethics and morality, and if it like preaches its way through all sections of society, then it does reflect a lot what religion does.
But you're not answering my question. I'm asking.
No, I have answered. This is my answer. I may not have answered your question, but this is my answer. So the audience will know how to consume it.
Yeah,
many of them are smart. Many of them are smart, and even you're smart, Arvind. I know why you're trying to put this in my mouth. You want me to publicly make a statement that.
The reason is
because it says, because you say this. Do you also say this? So that you can cut it and then you can post it as reels, right? There is a reason why you're doing this. Absolutely, I know that. Yeah, absolutely, yes. So that's why I'm not doing it. Right? So that's why I know what statements to make, what not to make, and also there are differences between each rights activism, right? So a child.
So then, what was
rights,
the point? Then what is the point of coming to this debate if you're not even going to speak your mind? Why are you afraid? I mean, what you're doing is not wrong, Vishwa. Why are you afraid to speak your mind?
Why am I afraid? It's my choice. It's my choice, Arvind. It's my choice, right?
Is that going to be your answer for everything? If
this debate is about veganism. Yes or no? Yes. You may disagree. Yes, of course. Yes, yeah. So it is around veganism, and I made a statement. By observing by your statements right now. So I made this statement based on what you mentioned, that it's a belief system. It has an expansionist mindset.
Yeah, we've been over that, bro. We've been over
based
that.
on ethics and morality.
Yeah, that's
all. Yeah,
and I showed you other things that also fall on the same purview. But you are saying, no, Arvind, I will not say that this and this is same.
They may not fall under the same purview. They may not fall, and I don't have first-hand information of all the contributing factors, and I do not know which rights are you really referring to, right? Because there is multiple rights going on. Every country.
Can I give an example? Abolition of apartheid in South Africa. Take for example.
Is that in veganism the same thing?
No, but we're talking now about how something is religious in mindset. Something is like a religion. Is this not like a religion?
You answered the question.
No. Okay. So
they're different, right? You said no. I asked you, are they the same thing? You said no. That's it.
Buddy, by all means, Vishwa, is this how you want to do the debate? You want to just
absolutely, man. This is a debate, right? No, you don't direct your guest how to debate you.
You're weaseling out of my questions, bro.
You don't direct your guest how to debate, right? I'm sticking to veganism. Now you're bringing in feminism, like child's rights, apartheid. You're trying to put words in my mouth, right? They are not the same thing. Veganism and apartheid are not the same thing. They're not.
Wrong.
Why did you even bring it?
Wait. So a noun I used to describe veganism was civil liberties, social justice movement, right? So I am now
animal rights. Okay, well, look.
I call it a social
exploiting
justice
animals. Okay, you call it a social justice movement. So now I have to agree to whatever you say.
But you
absolutely
are now,
not.
But
it's
that's
my
what
belief.
You're basing the discussion on. Since you're saying because I stated something, you're saying it's like a religion, and now you're asking me, should I agree with what you say?
Only on three things. Only on three things.
You're conflicting.
It's only on three things. It was only on three things, Arvind.
And those three things appear elsewhere. Out of that, you won't condemn them. You'll only condemn us because it's very convenient.
No, because
there
are many other contributing factors, right? No, it's not just those three. There are so many other factors, right?
But if these three exist here and you condemn them, and they exist elsewhere and you don't condemn them, then, my friend, you are just, it's easy. It's easy. You're just being a hypocrite. You don't want to admit it. Okay, fine. Fair enough. If you want to be a hypocrite and not admit it, I can't force you.
Look, audience, if you're watching this, and I'm pretty sure, you would like cut this part. But yeah, here's someone who is.
Wait, hold up, buddy. Before
who's comparing veganism and apartheid, veganism and feminist movements.
Yes,
no.
All for social justice. Yeah,
they can have similar elements, but there are many other contributing factors which I'm not aware of, and every region has its own contributing factor. And without digging deep into it, I will not make any such statements. And if I make those statements, it is just based out of my own belief system, my own cognitive dissonance. So
No.
I don't want to make that.
Bro,
So I made a
it-
statement based on the three things you told me.
No, bro.
The
You said
belief
something
system, the
because it's
expansionist
easy
mindset.
to pick on us. It's easy to pick on us. You wouldn't want to pick on them because they're already kind of established and
That's because
bigger.
I'm debating with you, Arvind. Like, that's because I'm debating with you. So,
No.
so that's why I have, picked up.
And in the debate,
your
multiple
own
subjects
statements.
and topics come up. And when it comes, it becomes hard for you. Guess what? Hey, it's Vishwa's choice, apparently. And when going gets tough,
You're
it's
putting
Vishwa's
words
choice.
into my mouth and you're trying.
Okay,
And you,
Vishwa. Okay,
and you
Vishwa,
want me
so
to comment on apartheid. Come on, man. Like, they both are not the same. They can have like pretty similar elements. Like, look, there has to be like
do you want
coherence
to
of
talk
groups.
about this or not? Do you, as in, like, every time I try to press you further on this, you then backtrack. But then when I'm going to try to move on to something else, you again go back to this. Do you want to talk about this fairly or not? I'm fair. And Vishwa, I can just ask you one small thing before we go any further. Regardless of our differences, regardless of our opinion or however we choose to behave in the debate today, you can be rude.
Yeah.
You know who I am. You see the stuff I'm big into and stuff. Yeah. Do you trust me as at least a fellow human being that this guy will not do me wrong in the sense that, because you made a statement that kind of hurt me, that you said like you will cut this and you will remove this part. Like, is that how you see me? You see the kind of me as a manipulative person?
You may do it. You may not do it. I don't know.
There has to be trust, right? There has to be trust between us. Like
I don't know. So
you don't know.
Yeah, trust. Yeah, of course. Like, I trust you. Like, I trust you as a human being. I trust you as a human being. But do I trust you like blindly? I don't know.
I asked you a simple
I don't know
question.
if I
Do you trust that I will not be that this entire podcast will be posted without any parts removed? It is, of course, the beginning part where we're going back and forth and the signal wasn't working is bit cut out. Apart from that, whatever we're discussing right now and arguing in its entirety will be posted on YouTube. Do you believe that or not? You have to work with this.
If you post it, I would really appreciate it.
Of course I will. Why will I not?
That's it. So if you post it, of course I will appreciate it. Like, I will go and applaud. I'll be like, wow, look at Arvind, he has done this, and I will like definitely go make a video, like tell my audience that Arvind is such a great human being. He's done this for me.
I'm not great, but the point is, we have to work with trust. And what I'm saying is, if you are fearing to speak, thinking that I will, for lack of better words, like skewer you and portray you wrongly, that will not happen. That's not how I work. That's not how I function. The reason why do you think I took the effort, Vishwa, to find someone? I have never met any New Zealander before in my life. I never spoken to anybody, but I took the effort to find someone, to find a studio here and pay money for that, to talk to you for what? To bully you?
To debate. To debate.
Exactly. To debate. And in a debate, we both should be given a fair chance, and then the entirety should be put up on the internet, so the audience can then decide what they want to do.
And that's what we're doing, and that's what we're doing here, right?
But,
so you asked me about, look, then will you make the same statement about like these all of the movements? And I said, no, I will not be able to, because there are many other contributing factors. Which I'm not aware of.
That's what you say. I don't believe you one bit on that. That's what you say, but I don't believe you one bit on that.
Look now, who's not believing me? Look now, who's not trusting me?
Because we're talking now, buddy. Do you?
Because you want to hear what you want to hear, Arvind. You are making an assumption. You want to hear specific words. That's the problem. You're trying to impose. You're trying to impose your thoughts.
I asked you, do you trust me in terms of debate etiquette? And now you're asking me whether I don't trust you in what you're saying in the debate. Don't you see a debate etiquette and debate are two different things?
Arvind, I am not in a position cognitively. I don't have enough information to make comments, because I believe that there are many other contributing factors to all those movements. And I won't be able to make. Yes, you are asking me to make comment.
I told you, let's move on. You keep bringing it back.
Come on, let's move on. Come on, let's move on. You're the one who spoke about trust here.
No.
You're the one who spoke about trust here.
Buddy, yes, trust on what? Debate etiquette. You trust me based on debate etiquette. We trust each other.
Let's move on. Come on. Let's move on.
We'll move on, Vishwa.
Yes.
Debate etiquette. You trust me? You can, okay? I will not skew your image. Everything goes up raw. Okay? That I promise you.
Cool. Yeah.
Again, what's the previous question? Why do I believe in a vegan India, and what about tribes? So again, in regards to tribes right now, you mentioned, I believe,
have we not moved on from that yet? Tribes and religion and can we move on from that?
The entire
thing. Or do you want to go back?
Because you did mention points and never got to them. We got stuck in religion. We never went to the other ones. Right. That's why. Okay. So we'll leave the religious part aside. Sure. We'll move on to the next one. Okay.
Sure.
So why do I believe in a vegan India, and what about tribes? So when you mentioned tribes, I believe you spoke about the Sentinelese or even the Jarawa tribe that exists in Andaman, Nicobar, those kind of people, right? Yeah. So right now, obviously, like I stated, veganism, at least if you're looking at it only in the food aspect, plant-based eating, is not practical for every single Indian at the moment. it can't be done, because in order to make sure you get all of your nutrients, you do have to have, at this current way the society is structured, certain amount of money to procure the food you need to feed your body the right nutrients. And not every single human being in India at the moment has that power, and I am very well cognizant of this, which is why I'm saying those who are privileged enough to have 100 to 120 rupees a day can choose to make the shift. If you don't, my message is not for you. So, doesn't that answer this question?
Okay, so you're saying if someone's privileged and if they accept your message, then this lifestyle or this or this ideology is for them. Then why do you go and debate in universities and colleges?
Yeah, I go to IIT Madras, I go to NIT Surathkal, I go to places where people from that background do come. That's why.
Okay, so are they? So do you debate people or no? Like, so how do you know that all those people have agreed to go on like the vegan diet or adopt veganism?
I have no idea. I just give a message and I bounce, and it's their choice to choose whether they want to do it or not. Like, I can't do anything beyond that. I can give a message, I can give a talk.
So
there are kids, for example, there's one girl I remember very well in the classroom. I walked in, she took her headphones on, sitting right in the front seat, whole time on her phone. I didn't say a single word to her. I didn't say a single word. If she wants to listen, she listens. She doesn't care, she doesn't care. Whoever wants to listen can take my message. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, so how do you create a vegan India then, right now? So if you say that, like this is for people who can afford, like this is for people who are privileged enough, then how do you dream of a vegan India? Like, how do you dream? Like, how can that even happen? Like, how do vegans even think of a vegan world if there are many challenges in adopting this and implementing this? Yeah.
The current capitalistic society works based on supply and demand, as you must know.
Oh, so is then veganism not capitalistic?
Veganism is, you can say, capitalistic, yes.
Yes, of course it is. Right now, so
yes.
Yeah. So so it is also part of this capitalistic system. It is also influenced by markets, right? So by market competition, by industries and like industries attempt to drive consumption, right? So yeah. I don't know, like how do you end up like dreaming about a vegan world and in the process you try to convince people with all these like videos and ideas about animal torture, this and that. So it looks like you're kind of like trying to play with their psychology. Yeah.
So you're asking me
absolutely you do.
Yeah. So buddy, when I'm answering a question, if you open up another can of worms, which worms do you attend to first?
There are many worms.
Yeah, but which one? We have to go one worm at a time, right?
One worm at a time. Like,
one worm at a time.
Look at what say. Like, I don't know what animal is that, man. Yeah. So it doesn't eat like one worm at a time. No, maybe it does. Yeah, chameleon. Yeah, it eats one worm at a time. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So we will untangle one worm at a time. I don't know if we're eating them, but we'll untangle them. Yeah, fair.
Let's do that. Yeah.
So, okay. So you asked me, first of all, the question, how do you create a vegan India? So before we go into my psychological manipulation tactics, we'll speak about that first. So then where I was last cut off was when you said that however veganism supports capitalism. Well, yes, in the current society, it does. I'm not denying that. So we are saying that there are millions of people in India at the moment. India's population is like 1.4 billion. It's freaking insane. But there are millions of people in India who are privileged enough right now to become vegan. And these people don't give a damn. They try to ignore our message, make fun of us, mock us, blah, 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 everything. So our aim, or I say my aim, is to first reach out to these privileged people and try to convince as many as I possibly can to make a shift. When these people choose to make a shift, there will be a shift in the economical structure, because there now will be more demand for vegan food. Like, instead of eating chicken or eggs, there's more demand for tofu or tempeh, right? Food, instead of cow's milk, people might be consuming, say, ragi, which is a very high source of calcium. It's a millet. So when this consumer demand changes, the products that come in also change. And also, when something is rare in society, it's more expensive. Like, stuff like soy milk right now, it actually, if you look at the cost required to make soy milk versus making cow's milk is like 10 times more expensive but it's still cheaper economically because our taxpayer money is used as subsidies, so they get cuts and therefore they are able to sell at a cheaper price. By making more people vegan, first of all, and choose plant-based options, we're changing the economy slightly, and therefore it becomes more viable for those who are even poorer, and it slowly expands that way. That is the way I'm approaching it at the moment. That's how I want to create a vegan India, by first holding the people who can change accountable. Do you get my message?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to do?
Any
queries on that?
No, that's how you actually try and approach any like shift or bring a change to any system. Yeah, that's how you would normally do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's nothing unique about it.
Okay.
So but my concern comes from what it does to the society, psychologically,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm.
Because there is an element of moral, superiority, right? Because you don't claim to have any moral superiority, or like,
No, I do.
or neither you, or
I
neither
do.
you.
I do claim. Yes,
Okay,
vegans are morally
moral
superior.
Okay.
They are. I'm not.
Yeah,
Then
that's the biggest problem here.
Can I be clear on that?
Then that is the biggest problem here, right? So you
can
claim.
I just be clear on that, though? What I mean by that? What I mean by moral superior? Yeah. Just like how, in human terms, a murderer is less morally superior to someone who's not a murderer, I say that someone who doesn't exploit animals is more morally superior than someone who does exploit animals. However, I want to make one thing very clear. This is what's important. I'm not saying those who are vegan deserve, therefore, extra benefits or rights in society. That's not what I'm saying. Since you asked me the question, I answered the question. Or this is not how I go about preaching my message. I don't go to a college and say, I'm morally superior than you. That's not what I do. But yeah, you go on now.
Right.
I'll stop talking.
So someone who murders is less morally superior than someone who doesn't murder, and then someone who doesn't exploit animals is more morally superior than the ones who do. Going by that, what would you call tribals then? Tribal and indigenous people, are they morally superior or morally inferior in your perspective?
I cannot judge them the same way I judge those who are privileged and have options. Making this judgment is very clear. It's not a blanket statement. If there is a human being right now and they literally have nothing to eat and they are living in the jungle and they're hunting, I can't go there and hold a vegan placard and my vegan judgment on them. It doesn't work. They're surviving. What can I do? Look, if I am saying what they're doing is wrong, it falls upon me to give them a solution, right? So I am judging the people who can choose a solution but still choose not to take it because they just like the taste or they don't care. Those people whom I judge. Yeah,
fair enough. Yeah, but let's say that like someone starts like a new organization, a new ideology. They get an idea that, hey, now it's not about animal exploitation. Let's look at things in its entirety. So it's not just animal exploitation. That's there's ecology involved. Then there is psychological challenges. So someone is adding pretty much everything in the mix, and then they say that, look, as a result, let us come up with a solution where we kill millions of humans because there is no end to this, right? So let's come up with a chemical where we can put like millions of humans to sleep, so that we can end the exploitation and suffering of not just animals but of everything, like of every living and the non-living. And then they say that we're the most morally superior because we realize that living is the biggest say the exploitation of planet Earth. And then they start like rationalizing such ideas. How would you react to it?
They actually exist, by the way, bro. I don't know if you heard of these people. They actually exist.
Yeah. They exist, absolutely,
Nihilism, is that what it's called?
I don't think so. Like nihilism is something else. Like
Is that something else?
Like nihilism is thinking I think it's like things have no meaning. Like things have no meaning.
Okay.
What's the purpose of life? Not there's no purpose of life.
Not
That's
suicidal
different.
thoughts. Not okay.
No,
Not
this
that.
this is an organization.
Okay.
Like I don't know if it's real, but let's
Hypothetical.
imagine hypothetical. This can happen, because this is going on exploitation and like suffering and like expansionist ideas. Like thinking of in a world where you can achieve this by just converting people. So there is a group that eventually like starts having this idea, and then they somehow they develop a solution where they say that, look, you know what, let's put millions of humans to sleep because that will be the greatest opportunity to reduce, to like pretty much cut down all the exploitation, because vegans cannot achieve it. Like vegans believe they achieve it because they believe in it, but if you think about it like rationally, they are not. Like they're just living in some sort of dream world. If they have this attitude, how would you respond to that?
So, one second. I'll see if I can notice something. Okay. So you're now talking about a hypothetical philosophy in which we're not only taking into account the suffering of animals,
A hypothetical,
but
it's a hypothetical scenario.
A scenario.
It's a hypothetical scenario. Yeah.
We're talking about an ideology that not only takes into consideration the suffering of animals, but also into account the ecology and everything.
Ecology, yeah. Like
Human
everything.
beings, pretty much everything. Okay. So wholesome. It's very, very wholesome. Okay. And I first have to understand what is their framework, because unless they give me their exact framework, this is what we work by, it's very hard for me to say anything further. Like when I say veganism, I told you we don't exploit animals as commodities. You know what this guy's framework is. Can you form a framework on that hypothetical, please?
Yeah. So their framework is that
I'll make a note. Yeah.
it's the most logical and the most irrational thing to put millions of humans to sleep, like basically cull them, and which will significantly reduce exploitation and suffering of the planet Earth.
You gave me what they do. You gave me the conclusion.
Yeah, this is their idea. This is their idea, and they believe in this.
But there's
and
another,
they want to.
there's another here. You gave me what they want to do and what will be the conclusion, what they aim to achieve. You didn't say why they want to do what they do. Why?
Yeah.
They want to put humans
why
to
they
sleep
want to
because,
do? Yeah, why they want to do is why they want to do is because why they want to do is because they want to wipe away like all kinds of exploitation.
Okay.
They believe that the very existence of humans itself is exploitation of planet Earth, and the only way to solve it is by like killing millions or even like billions of people. This is the exact reason why they want to do it. That's it. Like it's very simple, right?
Okay.
And then they believe that it's the most logical thing because, as per like let's say that they have made logical arguments, and then they have come to a conclusion that this is the only way and this is the only viable solution.
You have given them a big if. That is, if they have made logical arguments. We're in this hypothetical.
Because
giving them a very big if in this hypothetical.
Hypotheses like starts from if, right? It's not something that's real.
But you're granting them a very big if here. I'm just saying this hypothesis. You're granting them a very big. Apparently, they are saying we have to literally genocide humans in the millions. And apparently they can prove why that's the best way forward rationally. That was a big grant you gave them right there. Just saying, you granted them something very big there.
No. Wait. So what I said was, they have come to a conclusion and now they want to implement it. Right? It's their dream, it's their dream world where they want like less to no humans to exist. And they have come to a conclusion that that the only way to do this and to achieve this is by basically killing millions or billions of people. That's all.
Okay.
Right.
So the thing is that
how would you respond to such an ideology or a framework?
I would say no, because I value my biology and I don't want to die. Therefore, I don't want to be a part of their action. Because for two reasons. Number one, I don't want to be with them because I don't want to kill anybody. And number two, I don't want them to kill me either. So I don't stand by their ideology because I want to protect my own my own life.
Yeah,
it's for that reason.
But do you consider that their like logic has like some very solid arguments when they say that humans, if they exist, they will cause some sort of suffering and exploitation. So the only way to wipe away any sort of exploitation is to wipe out humans. Would you consider that argument has some weight to it.
It's a fact. It has weight to it. Not disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
It has weight to it. Yeah.
You see the problem, like, so humans have a problem of over rationalization, right? So, like, let's say that like one ideology becomes prominent, then it becomes outdated, right? Because humans crave for like novelty, and they want something else, right? So some people might think, oh, you know what, being a vegan is not enough. Now I want to like do something else, right? So now I want to add like some more into the addition. Now, here's the thing. Now, vegans consider, say, a set of animals, like specific animals, to be sentient. Now, there could be like someone else, or maybe a subset of vegans who consider everything to be sentient, right? And now they start protesting. Now they start asking for the rights. Right? They say that, look, everything is sentient.
Yeah,
right?
but they would be factually wrong, Vishwa. That's my argument. They're factually incorrect if they say that statement. Everything is not sentient. Like this table in front of me is not sentient. The microphone you're speaking into is not sentient. Everything is not sentient. To have sentience, you have to feel pain and suffering and be conscious. You have to have a brain. Only brains produce consciousness. If you don't have a brain, you're not sentient.
No, I'm not talking about just like non-living. So let's say like any living thing. So it could be
A plant.
the mycelium floor, like so under the soil, you have this
fungi. I know.
Yeah. So so they consider that along with the water body, and then you have like the trees and the birds and all the insects. So they consider that as one entity, and then they say that no, that this entity is sentient, and people are bigots. Maybe the vegans are bigots to just pick up like a set of animals and then call them sentient. So you see like all kinds of ideology will start emerging and is emerging, and I'm afraid that this is just going to like distort humanity, and we will lose cultural wisdom, right? We will lose ecological stewardship that we had, and eventually we have lost it, right? And the very few people have that. The very few people have that is are the tribals and people who have lived on a geography for like many centuries.
Can I speak right now? I need a chance right now. Yeah. So firstly, I want to just talk about the last thing you mentioned about tribal wisdom and stuff. I think, in my humble opinion, just let me have my piece right now. Okay, you are over exaggerating that. Okay, culture basically means, for people who don't know, one dude a long time ago had a particular belief and idea. He passed it on successfully to his kids. His kids passed it on to their kids, and they passed it on to the village. And then everyone started following it. It became tradition or culture. Tradition or culture is basically peer pressure from dead people. Just because you're being peer pressured from dead people doesn't necessarily mean that it is wisdom. There are some things that are wise, not disagreeing with you, but let's not overhype and say that everything done based on culture happens to be wisdom. It will be my first rebuttal or just a rebuke to your statement, the final thing you said. Okay. Now, going back to the point where you said there could be people with new ideologies constantly coming up. Now, you have to understand, Vishwa, you are not the first person who said this to me. There have been many people earlier also who said this statement to me. And what I have to be honest and say to you is that anybody is free to bring up any ideology, which is why I invite people like yourself on this podcast, because I want people who are against my ideology to talk to me. And then my ideology should be questioned. It should be dragged through the coals to see if it still holds water even after doing that. And I will say, yes, veganism still holds water after doing that. If somebody is bringing their ideology saying that they now view the mycelium and the trees and the birds as one entity, if this person exists, with all due respect, I think they're a bit off on the head. Okay, something's gone wrong. Because we clearly define sentience as the ability to feel pain and suffering and have subject to awareness. The bird has sentience. The plants and the fungi don't. Like, this is like arguing whether the earth is flat or round. Like, do you not understand that despite sentience being a spectrum, there are clearly those on this side of the spectrum and those on this side? Like, why is this a confusion? If someone brings up this point, they're just being dishonest. You can speak now.
Okay. So, sentience, again, of course, yes, birds have sentience. Like a lot of animals have sentience. There is a whole subset of animals that is not a part of your conversation, right? So if you, like, let's say that a large number of population have converted to veganism, right? So now the country or the state has to produce food, They either use the land to feed the animals. Now, because there's no point in having like domestic animals, so now they have to use the land to produce like food for the vegans. So in that process, there's still exploitation of livelihood of rodents. There are other birds that are dependent on the land, so they have lost their livelihood. So your ideology does not account the suffering or the exploitation of those unaccounted species of animals.
You are right to say that.
Know.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying you're right. I'm saying you are right, Vishwa. You are right to say that. But can I let me know once you're done? I want to be given a chance to explain why I have that opinion. But if you want to have more stuff, you can please go on.
Yeah, I'm done. Right. So basically,
the argument was that even in a vegan world, the vegans would still be causing harm to animals. That was the argument, right? Yeah, yes. I'm completely with you. Which is why I'll be honest. When I first went vegan, like you said, you see these kinds of videos, you get emotional. You're like, what on earth is going on? You don't want to be a part of it. And then I stopped eating meat and dairy, all this stuff. And then people ask me, Arvind, why do you do this? Why do you suddenly change? I'm like, no, I don't want to kill animals. I don't want to kill animals. They're like, you bogus idiot. You still do kill animals. You walk around in the street, you could kill an ant. You're polluting the earth. You're wearing a shirt that has purple ink, probably died somewhere. The purple ink has gone downstream and then killed some fish in the pond, some tadpoles. So please, Arvind, don't say that you don't kill animals. You're no better than us. And I was like, they actually have a point. I can't say that. I can't say that I don't kill animals. I do. Which is why I am giving you a framework that does work. If I said I don't kill animals, you have every right to hold me accountable on this, Vishwa. But I do never, even at the beginning, we can rewind back and see. I never said vegans don't kill animals. I said we do kill animals. I'm agreeing with that. And do you understand, however, the difference between, if I may ask you, Vishwa, exploitation and collateral damage? Yeah. So a vegan world can end animal exploitation. It cannot end collateral damage.
Because then why veganism? Then why veganism?
Because slavery is wrong. Can I put it this way? Can I give an analogy if it's okay? Can I give an analogy if it's all right? Okay. Me and you definitely as human beings right now want a world without human slavery, for sure, right? But we still cannot create a world in which collateral damage of humans doesn't exist. For example, we drive on the road, we could get in an accident and we could kill somebody. And every single day, people die due to various different things that we engage in. For example, Vishwa uses electricity. There are people who, one poor electrician got up to check if everything is working, gets shocked, he dies. Vishwa takes part in the mining of coal. And guess what? Someone got stuck in a coal mine and died. Vishwa is using nuclear the benefits of nuclear power. Someone who's working in the radiation plant got radiation poisoning and died. We all take part in activities that harm both humans and animals. I'm aware of that. But first degree, intentional murder, exploitation, and slavery of animals and human beings can and should be stopped. That's the distinction I draw, and you're free to comment on that.
Okay. So, if I were to draw a comparison.
Sure, please do.
So, you said, slavery is wrong, absolutely. But the way you are saying about veganism is that, look, we consciously stop exploitation, but there is collateral damage. Of course, we kill animals. It sounds as if you are against slavery, but then you still end up exploiting humans. Yeah. It's saying that you stand against slavery, but then you are okay to exploit someone not under the name of slavery, but then you just end up exploiting them.
No, Vishwa, I think you're making an error here. I say that we don't exploit or commodify animals. Yes, collateral damage is still killing them. But we're killing them. But we're literally ending their lives. I get that. But we aren't enslaving them. Enslavery...
Yes, you're being very selective over here, Arvind. Like, that's my problem with veganism. Like, you're being very selective. And you use your... Selective of the species, right? So you have a very selected number of species. You show videos of cows
I do not.
Being slaughtered, brutally tortured, like hens and ducks and this and that, right? So your videos and neither your conversations, they never include the exploitation of the land and all the species, and all the species that have been thriving on the land. There are rodents, there are reptiles, there are insects. You show no regard to them, and you say, look, collateral damage. So yeah, that's the problem with veganism, right? So it's not a very pure thing. I mean, it's just like something that's just made up in mind, and it has economic value, and that's why it's been like used by in market competition to drive the consumption of products.
Okay, you kind of, what you did is that was, I don't know if you did it intentionally or not, but that was kind of sly, bro, because you were talking about...
That was intentional. That was absolutely intentional.
The economic value was absolutely intentional. That's not sly at all. You meant it. You meant to speak about one particular, the ethical qualms, the issues and problems we had with us, and then jump to the conclusion that we're doing this because we want money. That's the jump you made, intentionally.
No, it's not that you are doing this.
The corporations want money.
Whoever, look, it's not like one person who's driving this, right? It's an idea, right? It's an idea that plagues many humans' minds, right?
Like every other idea that involves commodities, commodities and sales and purchase, any other idea. So why are we being accused of this?
That's because I'm debating you, right? If I were to debate someone else, then probably I would debate them. Like if I were to debate Paris Salan, then probably my points would be something that he's spoken about, something that he stands for. My question would be directed to him. Like I won't ask the same question that I'm asking you.
Yeah, but we can't ask a question for the sake of asking a question. You're asking a question because I believe you already come to a good conclusion. What do you see Vishwa as an ideal world, if I can ask you? What according to you is an ideal world?
I don't know.
So you don't know what is an ideal world. But when someone tries to create an ideal world, you want to just accuse us of stuff. Is that how it is?
If I think of an ideal world, look, first of all, I understand very less about like people. I understand very less about cultures. I understand very less about humanity. I understand very less about science. Even science itself admits that we do not know many answers. Like we still have to uncover like many things about species and about like natural selection, then there's about like
what does it have to do with what I asked now? What does it have to do with what I asked? Like I'm asking what's your view of an ideal world? Like
yes, I'm coming to that. So because I do not hold like so much information, because I feel that I lack the comprehension of reality, I do not know what sort of ideal world is apt.
Okay.
I may impose any idea, but then like I'm asking a question to myself, like, is that the right thing? I don't know.
Okay, can I ask you something? Yeah. Just your personal opinion here, okay? I did make some points here, but before we go to that, just I want to hear your opinion. Would you agree that the current world we're living in versus a hypothetical world where animals are not exploited, that one is more ideal than this one? Would you at least agree upon that? That a hypothetical world in which we can manage to eliminate animal exploitation completely is more ideal than the current world we live in. Would you agree to that at least? Just want to know your opinion. You froze. Crap.
Yeah. I don't want to.
One second. You froze completely. After I asked the question, you completely froze. Sorry. Could you just repeat again?
Yeah, so I didn't freeze. I was actually thinking.
Wait, whoa. You didn't move one frame.
Or maybe I froze. Maybe I froze, right? Because I already told you that, like literally when I think of an ideal world, I'm always left with the question, look, is this an ideal thing? Mm-hmm. And how do you know, is that the ideal thing?
My question was the more ideal question. Like, would a vegan world be more ideal?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know?
Because there are so many other things, right? There are like so many other things other than animals, right? There are so many animal species which we are still discovering. So I cannot contain exploitation to just animals and say, look, if there was an ideal world where there was no exploitation of animals, would that be more ideal? Okay, look, if you ask me, look, the ideal world would be, somewhere where we didn't have to consume anything, like where we just, lived forever, right? And there was literally no animals fed on each other, or maybe there was no species on planet, right? So that we don't have to end up debating on like exploitation or suffering or consumption. Okay, so maybe that could be an ideal world, right? So nobody exists, right? So we don't exist, nobody exists.
But
there's nothing to debate on.
Bro is not answering my one question. That is a yes or no
bro,
question.
You asked me a question and this was my answer. Right, so this is my answer to you.
But I want a yes or no answer, Vishwa. Like yes or no. I'm not judging this. I'm not going to. Based on this, Vishwa, how do you say? I'm not doing that. I just want to understand.
This is my answer to you, Arvind. Like, why do you have problems with that? Like, this is my
Because
answer. Like, you asked me what is more
You're confusing me,
ideal.
bro. You're confusing me. You're
Yeah,
not
this is
answering
because
me.
this is because these topics are new to you. Like, you've never debated someone like me, I suppose.
No,
You could have debated someone who has like who's either like defending like meat eating or who's like against veganism. I'm not against your food choices. The problem that I have is that you contain your beliefs and your ideology to a very specific set of
we've
living
okay.
beings. And the definition of sentience is not a scientific absolute. It is not. It will shift.
Right, but
Yeah.
Vishwa. Okay, fine. So before we get on to the main point, I want to address with you about sentience shifting, which is why we vegans already say we don't know whether insects are sentient or not. Therefore, we err on the side of caution. We don't wear silk, we don't consume honey because we don't exploit animals. So we already are erring on the side of caution. It's impossible for a plant to be sentient because there is no evolutionary necessity for an organism.
I never mentioned plant in the mix.
Fair enough. Okay, we'll drop
I
it.
spoke about ecology. So ecology means it's not just the plants.
Okay, fine.
It's about every species that thrives in a region, right?
Okay.
Now the only things that are brought up on sentience was the other animals that we consciously exclude or we don't have enough data on, right? So we never talk about rodents, the reptiles.
No, rodents are sentient. Rodents are sentient. They're sentient, yeah.
Yeah. So what about their livelihood?
We
Like,
don't.
are we not exploiting it? Are we not exploiting it?
We are. You know in which ways, right? There are two ways in which we exploit rodents. And again, I want you to understand the difference, Vishwa, between exploitation and collateral damage. I'm not saying collateral damage is good. I'm not saying that we vegans are saints. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, look, first of all, we do animal testing in two areas.
If
One,
I'm
in terms
aware
of medication.
of collateral
Let me finish.
damage, okay.
One, when it comes to medical testing, we are testing on mice. And then when it comes to our, what do you call the stuff, that cream we put, what's that? Makeup and all that stuff. That stuff also we test on animals. We vegans do not use any kind of those makeup or cosmetics. We don't use any cosmetics that are tested on animals because cosmetics are not necessary for survival or well-being. As of now, like I told you earlier, I don't go to poor people. I don't go to tribal people and tell them to become vegan. In that same vein, I cannot go and ask someone who's sick and needs medication to not take medication because their life probably depends on it. I cannot ask someone to compromise their quality of living, their very own health and existence because animals feel pain. I can only condemn them on that if I give them a fair solution. And when I don't have a solution, I try to find one, which is why there are vegans out there who are working very hard on finding alternatives to animal testing. We have like in vitro, in silico, in organoid. I've been over these in a few other videos. People can check it if they want to. There are other methods of trying to find out so we can replace that exploitation happening there as well. As of now, agreed as a vegan, I don't have a solution. Therefore, I don't preach on the medication part. So this, I'm aware of this. But again, there's a difference between me taking an animal, breeding them into existence for the sole purpose of using their bodies, as versus as me right now having a cropland where animals come to eat the feed for their survival, I understand. And if I don't kill them, they will eat, they will urinate, they'll defecate, they'll ruin the crops, and me and my family will die. At this point, it's a fight for survival. Therefore, I engage in that fight. Do you not see a difference here?
Wow. Okay. So, okay, Arvind. So you consider that as a collateral damage? Yep.
Yes? It is. Yes. So some are, some aren't. For example, if an animal is trying to harm me or my crops, be it even a dog. If a dog tries to bite me, if I have a stick, I'll beat the shit out of the dog. But I won't buy a dog from a breeder though, because they exploit animals. Do you get the difference?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine. Okay. So a collateral damage that you are aware of, and you consciously let it happen, isn't that exploitation?
That does not fall under the term exploitation.
Okay, because you grew the crops, right? Because you are growing crops on the land, and now those rodents, now you have invited those rodents or those reptiles, right, to your land. It's because of your consumption habits. You have used that land, and you have invited certain species to eat.
I have enticed
and
breed
there.
I have enticed
and breed there.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. So you have invited them to eat and breed and to defecate there. Now, you have set up measures that would kill them. Isn't that exploitation?
No, that is not exploitation, Vishwa. Do you not understand me? The difference between me
You
using
are exploiting. You are using up a land. Of course, for growing your crops. Okay. Now,
which if I didn't, I would die.
yeah,
Which if I did not, I would die.
Yeah, I'm just trying to logically construct this, right? So,
sorry.
so yeah, towards the end, I might become wrong. Like towards the end, I might turn out like to be wrong here. So yeah, what I'm trying to understand is that if you are consciously aware that a certain activity is leading to loss of lives, like, and it was like you say it was unintentional, but then this has been happening for your survival. So how is it different to someone growing animals and then like slaughtering them and consuming it? Because from their perspective, it's all about it's all about like killing an animal, right? So you kill an animal not to eat it, but to avoid those animals eating your crops. They kill an animal to eat it, and they breed an animal to eat it. So from their perspective, they might not, like your ideology may not, come across as like something really strong. You might come across as someone who's just like living with what's that?
Fantasy?
Fairy tales, fairy tale, yeah.
Okay. Can I comment? So
Look, I'm not accusing you. Like I'm just trying to like battle with perspectives here. Yeah.
Fair enough. So you said, I remember earlier when we were speaking about, say, fishermen and other people, you said we have to look at the background, other things that might be things that I'm not aware about behind the scenes that could be happening, which sometimes you said that we vegans don't take certain things into account, right? I want to
contributing factors.
I want us to look at other contributing factors in this example you mentioned. Okay, a civilization, human civilization, cannot successfully exist without agriculture. I'm talking about growing of cropland. That is the foundation, the backbone based on which we now create food. Else we are nomadic tribes people. We've only settled down, we had water and we could grow crops, right? It is from growing crops we realized there are parts of the crop that we humans don't eat, and we began feeding them to domesticated animals. They ate the crops, converted into flesh, and we ate the flesh. So crop production is where it begins. Crop production cannot be halted, because if it is halted, it ends the civilization. I hope, did I pause for too long?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I
think you just cut out there. Yeah.
Okay, I said that crop production is where civilization begins. Without crop production, you can't have a civilization.
Yep.
And that is like step one. And from that, you can then say, okay, you know what? I have excess crops or parts that the animal that we can't eat. I feed it to the animal. That comes second. You cannot suddenly have the animal and then not have this. You get that point? You have to have this to feed the population. You cannot have an India without agriculture. That has to be there. Else we die.
And also you can't have an India without people like feeding on meat.
We can. The whole point is we can create a global food system. We can create
how do you even imagine something?
You cannot
do that. You cannot practically do that.
You can, Vishwa. I'll give you the data. Let me finish.
Data? You can create, data for what? Like, how do you present data for something that doesn't even exist?
We'll come to it, Vishwa. Can I complete my sentence, please? So we can create a food system where we remove animals from it entirely in the food system, and therefore we consume only from plants. But when you asked me about the contributing factors, do you understand why that crop production is absolutely mandatory for a civilization? Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Civilization, yes. Civilization, comparing hunter-gatherers and like other
which is what
indigenous
we are, which is what you and me are.
Yeah.
We both are civilizations, just different across the ocean, but civilizations, yeah. So both of ours require crop production. That's we can't even argue on that. But we can argue on the animal part. So do you agree that one becomes mandatory, whereas one becomes optional, especially in this modern day and age? I mean, in ancient times, it wasn't optional. In ancient times, you can't be a vegan. You can't. You die of malnutrition. You don't have B12 supplements. You can't get your nutrients. But in this day and age, hey, guess what? You can. So do you understand the difference for the thought process?
Yeah, there is difference. Yeah, yes, there is difference. Yeah. And like modern day allows you to create products, right? It allows it does allow the platform where you can go and convince someone that you can change your lifestyle. You can change your habits. Yeah, you can definitely do that, and of course, then there are like market forces, industries which will want to compete, which will capitalize on ideas, and which will try to push products and like lifestyles on people because they have to pay back their shareholders.
Yeah,
Of course.
just if I can ask a query,
Yeah.
surely do you, and you feel free to be yourself, bro, do you believe that I am part of like some quote unquote, like you said in the beginning, mafia? Do you believe that I am someone here to
That
like
was
destroy...
engagement mafia, man. Like we both are a part of that, right? So
Okay,
we
but
both
what
are
about
doing
this?
this because somehow we can garner attention.
I want to know clearly, because I want you to speak your feelings. Are you by any chance, do you ever think or feel that this Arvind guy could be someone who's being paid off by, say, some billion-dollar industry to promote veganism? Could be. Can I explain why that hypothesis is kind of like really flawed? Can I explain that? Of all the people someone could pay to promote a product, why on earth would you promote a product as if anybody working in marketing, why on earth would they choose the vegan activist as the person to pay to promote their product? That pay a celebrity, pay a politician, pay a far more better reaching person. Who? Arvind, the guy who says that he won't feed cats and he will let... You see my videos, right? He will not rescue a cat and all this. Why do you want to feed this controversial guy, pay this controversial guy to promote your product? That makes no sense. Why on earth would someone pay me, the vegan activist? That's
why don't they pay me though? Like that's the question right now. So
they might,
the answer to the question is like, why don't they pay me?
They
like,
could.
Why don't they pay me?
They will. I'll tell you when they will. If they don't even care if you're not vegan, by the way. See, a business, vegan or non-vegan, a business exists for one reason: to make profit. That's why they exist.
Yeah.
If you are able to help them get more sales, they will pay you. Doesn't matter if they're vegan or non-vegan.
Yeah.
So, to say that this is some kind of like I'm being paid, or anybody thinks that way, I just want to say it's bogus. Of all the people, they can target celebrities. That would be an effective
paid
strategy.
for this podcast?
Beautiful question. That is being paid by Karuna Foundation. That is a philanthropy group in USA. I have put up their website and everything in that video. You can see who the founders are. There are two people there. There's Jay Karandikar, Shaleen Shah. Everything is transparent. So,
absolutely, man. Yeah.
Nothing to hide.
Like there's like there's some like definitely there's some like tax credits if a businessman like pays to an NGO or to a non-profit organization, there are some tax credits, and then like many NGOs. I'm not talking about yours, but then if I want, I can set up an NGO. I can act as a shell. Like I can do like all kinds of things. Why would they pay you? It's the same thing as like why would a political party pay like small-time influencers and then like ask them to make content that does influence public opinion. So it's like very much about influencing, like increasing the numbers. It is.
Absolutely. I'm not denying any of that. But anyways, Vishwa, if I can, because I've been waiting for... You want to go on the subject further? I don't mind. Because I don't want to miss this one thing I've noted down here. I've been waiting for quite... Yeah.
Sure, man.
Cool. See, each time you bring up the ecology argument, I believe there's this fundamental difference in understanding between me and you on this. I want to first use two words and let me know. I'm sure you'll know what they mean. Utilitarian and deontological. You know what these words mean?
Yeah, utilitarian, right?
It's utilitarian.
Yeah. I have a very vague idea.
Okay, utilitarian basically means it's the typical trolley question. That is, if you could save 3 people instead of saving 10 people, whom would you save? You would obviously save 10 people. That means less harm is better than more harm. That is more or less the utilitarian way of thinking. Deontological way of thinking is saying that, of course, in that particular example, it wouldn't work. It's about talking about the individual and about rights. Like, for example, if we were to say, hypothetically, there are 30 men who say they are psychopathic, they are just torturous, they hurt people, blah, 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 and they want to hurt just one girl, okay? And they want to kill her. Now, to cause the least amount of harm, we should kill the girl. Get my point? Because then the 30 men will live. But if we did that, we would be doing injustice to the girl because she is innocent. So, any rational society will say, like, these men are causing havoc regardless. Doesn't matter if it's more harm or less harm. The innocent shall be protected, and therefore will harm those who are the abusers. That is a deontological perspective, saying that every individual matters, and since they're innocent, they should be given the right to live free. Animal rights, every time I talk about it, you keep portraying it in a utilitarian perspective about less suffering, holistic, all this stuff. Veganism has nothing to do with that. Veganism is a deontological approach. we are saying that every individual matters and we should never be using their bodies for anything. So does that clarify some stuff for you when I mention it this way?
Yes, it does. Yeah. It gives me a good idea that you are being very selective, and you choose to be very selective for specific reasons and for convenience.
But Vishwa, when I say selective,
just like someone chooses to eat meat for their convenience, that's it.
But Vishwa, if I am to make a statement, if I am to I'm making a sweeping statement saying that, hey, everyone should become vegan, we need a vegan India, don't you think people will hold me accountable and be like, Arvind, hold up. If you're making such a big statement, what's your aim? What is your moral framework? What are you even talking about? I have to give them a framework, right? And my framework should be consistent, because if it's inconsistent, people can say you're full of crap. But Vishwa, I gave you my framework. I did not say I cause the least amount of harm. I did not say I don't kill animals. I've been honest from the beginning. I said
I have no questions on your framework. My concern is that it avoids many different things, and it does not hold weight. In my perspective, veganism does not hold any weight. It's just an ideology that I chose because I feel morally superior. And there is something for me to believe, something to hold on to, something that allows me to build a community. Yeah, that's how I look at it.
Okay, fine. I want to give 2 points here if I can. That is I remember the second one right now. You said something. Wait, just give me a second. What is the other point you mentioned right now? Veganism. Crap.
Yeah. What was it? If you can just give me an idea. When did we have this conversation properly?
Just right now, I was thinking I'm being selective, and
yes.
Selective was
it's not that you're being selective. The ideology.
I remember. Okay, got it. You pointed out a valid scenario in which I, as a vegan, am taking part in quote unquote, as I say, collateral damage, in which I am exploiting animals. I am murdering animals. I'm outright killing them. Right. Now
yes,
I ask you, I outright killing them. Yeah, agreed completely. I have blood on my hands. Agreed. Okay. Now I'm asking you, Vishwa, do you have a foolproof solution for this? So as a vegan, I can now change myself and also stop doing that?
I don't know what's the solution.
You don't know the solution. You don't know. Okay,
I don't know if there is a solution that exists where you don't end up killing any other organism.
Okay, so just to be clear, you are pointing out an issue towards me to which you personally do not have a solution to. Now, I am now, however, pointing out an issue towards you to which I do have a solution. But since you're saying to me, Arvind, since you don't have a solution to the problem that I point out to you, I will therefore reject the problem that you point out to me, even though you are giving me a solution. Am I right to phrase it that way?
I didn't even give you a solution, Arvind.
That's what I'm saying.
I did not give you a solution.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't give you a solution.
I don't think you understood me.
You can reject it. You can reject it because...
Is it even sound logically? Is it even logically sound to say that, bro? Did I phrase it wrongly? So I say it again one more time maybe. You are saying, if I'm not wrong, you're saying that, Arvind, I reject your... I find your message of veganism to be hypocritical, or you could say not hypocritical, broken. The logic behind it to be broken or falsified.
No. The logic is not broken. Just that it ignores.
Okay.
Many other contributing factors.
Okay.
And there are also factors that humanity doesn't know yet.
Okay, fine. So there will always be factors humanity doesn't know. So we don't base our current moral values based on stuff that because something could be known tomorrow. So I don't think that's a valid argument. But okay, the fact that my framework ignores certain particular things which involve the intentional killing of animals, to which Vishwa does not have a solution, even though he's pointing it out to me, his problem.
Yes.
However, I am also pointing out a problem in society that's happening to certain animals, to which I am proposing a valid solution, and Vishwa is rejecting that.
Is that valid? That validity is questionable, right?
So,
and it does not carry weight. Because it only selects a few. It only selects.
That's what I'm saying, my guy.
It only selects a few species.
My guy, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that because I don't have a solution to a problem to which there is no solution, you will therefore reject a problem to which there is a solution given by me.
Yeah. Yes. You have a solution to a very specific, like to a niche, right?
Yeah,
Like you
so
have a Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
yeah, I
So
have, but it's there.
hence,
Why
hence,
ignore it?
hence, like when I think of like reality or like or the totality of this whole like ecosystem, I feel that your ideology doesn't carry much weight. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I feel when you try to when you try and expand your ideology, I feel that I feel that like okay, like you are imposing something that doesn't carry weight, and you want people to convert to something that cannot offer a several fold solution. And also people are like left with a belief system that they are doing like something good, by not exploiting animals, but it is just that very few animals, but they might in fact end up
Few
but in
animals. Few
yes
animals.
yes
But
few
100 billion on land every year and trillions on the sea every
few
year.
species.
But the number
But
of individuals.
but me converting into a vegan doesn't guarantee that I don't end up like killing animals at all.
So that
It doesn't guarantee me anything, right? So I'm only left with the belief. Okay, so yes, I'm not like contributing to the death of like hundreds and millions of animals. I'm only left with that belief. But if I converted as a vegan, it does not guarantee me. Like, so when I think about it, like, can I, like, what data do I have that I'm not contributing? So that's where I feel that it doesn't carry much weight. Like if I start logically dissecting it, if I bring in like many other factors, which you will not, because if you bring in those factors, then veganism doesn't hold ground as an ideology, and that's why you have chosen to exclude like certain aspects of suffering, and then you say, look, veganism is about like stopping the exploitation of animals, like for products and for food consumption, right?
Yeah.
So you're being very selective so that your ideology can thrive and make sense to people.
Exactly. Where I have a solution, I choose a solution. Where I don't have a solution, I don't take a solution.
Yeah.
No, I hope you get that. Where I have a solution, to take the solution. Okay, Vishwa, just two things I want to ask you. So I want to just give a small homework. If you have your phone
That's
on
not
hand,
a solution. That's not a solution.
It is
That's not a solution in my opinion. Like that the reason why is because, look, you and I are not powerful. Why we are not powerful is that like we don't sign trade agreements. Like we're not the people who drive like global economy. Like we are not.
We do.
Capital.
We are the consumers. We are the consumers.
Consumers consume. Like what's given to them, right?
Right.
Consumers
We can
consume.
choose to con- we can
Consumers
choose to consume other things.
what
We can make a conscious
consumers
choice.
consume, like what's made available to them. So
And
like
you have choices.
given
You have choices is my point. You have choices. I don't know much about Auckland, New Zealand.
those
but
choices,
I know
those choices can also be driven by market competition and by industries.
That was not the initial claim. You first said that was not. But anyways, my point is this.
No. I've been mentioning this from the beginning that these ideologies, it may be used or it could also like serve as a tool for
just because capitalistic people exist on top doesn't justify what we do to animals. But anyways, I want to ask one thing of you, if you can, please, because you made just
this is a consumption-driven economy, right? This is a consumption-driven economy. So either they eat meat or they have to eat something else.
We don't have to consume human and animal slavery, though.
No, we don't have to do anything. But is that a solution to that? Like, and your solution doesn't hold.
Yeah,
your
we can solve animal slavery. Animal slavery can be solved. But okay, Vishwa, I want to ask one thing of you. If you have your phone on hand, could you for me please, because you've been making your point quite clear, Google for me this one word, appeal to futility fallacy, Futility. I want you, if you could just read up what you see there, what it says, AI or Google definition.
Okay. Appeal to
futility fallacy, yeah.
Good. I've never come across this term. I slightly disagree with this.
What does it say? If you can just keep me in the loop.
Well, it says that. So it's a fallacy that claims that there is no point in taking action because it will not achieve a perfect or ideal outcome. And it often overlooks the possibility of making progress or achieving a partial success. But my points are slightly different to this. I'm left to believe that I'm making a positive change. But am I making a positive change? What data do I have? I don't have. Like, I'm only left with belief. I'm only left with belief that if I don't use animal products or meat, I am say not exploiting. Like, I'm just left with the belief. But my choice is not going to change what's happening. And also, I do not know what else is happening, but which is beyond my knowledge. So that doesn't mean that I don't work towards a positive change, but just that what qualifies as a positive change is questionable. What qualifies as a positive change is debatable, is questionable. And there are many different versions of what a positive change is. Like, you have a different version of an ideal world. Some religious person might have a definition of an ideal world. So there's going to be multiple conflicts. So how do you change everyone to one ideal goal?
Right. So can I answer? So
how do you do that?
A couple of different things. First of all, when I just want to, so give me my piece right now. I'll just speak my lines. When you first ask, how do I even know whether I'm making a difference or not? This is, again, economics 101. Supply equals to demand. As long as there is demand, there will be supply. If all vegans and vegetarians on earth tomorrow decided to start eating meat, would there be an increase in animal breeding or decrease in animal breeding? Of course, increase because there is now more demand for a product of flesh, therefore more animals have to be bred for it. Now, if tomorrow millions of people become vegan, will there be an increase in the breeding of animals or decrease? Of course, decrease. Because there's now a less demand. This is a system based on supply.
But will they change? They won't change. The world will not become increasingly vegan. It won't.
See, again, that's saying everybody will not stop pickpocketing, therefore I won't stop pickpocketing. Terrorists won't stop being...
No.
You did not say that. But again, it's a fallacy. This is what an appeal to futility fallacy is. Everybody won't stop being a terrorist, so I won't stop being it. This is called as an appeal to futility fallacy. What change can I make? What can I do? Yes, every individual can make a change because that is how the economy works.
No, it's not that.
And if you are choosing to reject this point, I don't even know what to say. This is economics 101.
Okay. So here there are a couple of different things that you brought in. So one is economics and the other is positive change, right? Economics, yes, consumption, consumption drives demand or production. Yeah. So basically if people consume and hence we will have to produce what people consume. But also the world and our systems are set up in a way where you can influence what people consume, right? So there are influencers who ask people to consume meat. There are people who go on carnivore diet, right? And that number is also increasing. They believe in certain ideals. They believe that humans are designed to eat meat, and hence I will eat meat. This is for my benefit, and this is for...
Hold on. You have to make an argument. You have to make an argument.
It's very hard to present. It's very hard for me to present this as an argument.
Can I help you?
No. Let me finish, and then you can help me.
But dude, you can just make an argument. We don't have to go on these big tangents. What is? Can I help you?
Otherwise I would not be able to present my idea.
Can I be given a chance to maybe present your idea? I can do it maybe in 2 lines. I can try. Can I?
Okay, try.
I'm experienced in this field, so yeah. Are you perhaps pointing out the fact that despite you or me deciding to change, there will still be people who choose to eat, maybe even continue eating more, that way making sure there's no difference at all? Is that what you're trying to say?
No.
Okay, then please go on.
People will have their ideals, right? So they will continue to consume, or they might even change their dietary or their nutritional behavior, given that whatever ideals that they choose.
Therefore,
so therefore, economics cannot be what's the word for that?
be a reliable
unipolar,
tool to
like
measure.
Unipolar. It's going to have it's going to be on like a spectrum.
This is why. So the question I phrased initially was right, bro. What you're saying is that even whether you or me change or not, if 10 more kids are born tomorrow and they all choose to be carnivores, what's the bloody point? The consumption has gone up despite you and me changing. It's not gone down, right?
Yes, but it's,
I think you froze.
But it's not just the consumption. No. It's not just the. It's not just the number of people increasing. It's not just like.
But number of people increasing equals the number of animals being bred into existence and exploited. Do you not see the?
That is just one part. Like that is just one part of the problem. The other part to this is that many ideas exist, and they are used by producers to also like drive the demand, right?
Okay, can I ask a question?
So if I
get that you mentioned influencers. You mentioned that part. I'm not trying to cut you short. It's like I feel we're going in a loop, and we don't have to necessarily see that. I have to think in two ways. One is obviously as a guest I've invited that you speak, but also as a content creator, I have to make sure the podcast doesn't go for too long, and the people watching shouldn't think like we're repeating ourselves. You get my point? We shouldn't make them feel that way.
Okay, I'll add my point like after you finish.
So what I'm trying to say is that you have mentioned the fact that there are influences. What I'm asking you is, I am approaching you right now and putting forth a message, you can say, saying that, hey, look, Vishwa, here's a problem. Animals are being exploited. They can feel pain and suffering just like you. Do you have any kind of empathy towards them at all? Do you have any kind of consideration towards them at all? If you do, please do become vegan, else it's complete hypocrisy and unnecessary violence. Now, if you reply to that saying, but Arvind, right now we turn them into sandwiches, and there are people who influence other kinds of sandwiches, and there are many other people who play a part in controlling our mind and what we eat in the economy. How does any of that relate to what I'm talking to you about first as a problem? I'm asking you, is this pig or chicken a slave or not? This has nothing to do with what influencers or capitalists do. Are they a slave or not?
You are free to choose. You are free to choose that. Like you are free to choose to have that idea, right? You are free to convince me. I may be convinced. I may not be convinced, or I may just choose to become a vegan. Likewise, there are many ideas that will exist.
Are they a slave or not, according to you? Are they slaves or not, according to you?
And why would I consider them a slave?
Currently, you eat them.
Why should I? Because so if I eat something, and I should consider them as a slave. So immediately, you put me in a spot where, I'm eating something. So basically, I am running in a slavery.
The answer is yes, but if you don't want to speak in this way, I can change my words. Would you like me to change my words something less harsher?
Yeah, try changing it. Yeah.
Vishwa, do you consider that this pig or chicken or goat has moral value? Do they have any kind of moral? Do you think they should be given moral consideration at all? Yes or no?
I want to know what was the basis for you to think that. Questioning whether morality applies to them or not. How did you end up concluding that do they have rights? Do they have morality or does?
I
want to know about that, right? Because if I don't know that, because if I do not fully understand the basis of your conclusion, then I won't be able to answer you.
Okay.
Or I won't be able to understand your perspective.
Okay. What I'll say to you is that they can feel pain and suffering just like you. They desire to live just like you. They love their young ones just like we do. They choose to just live without being physically harmed like me and you do. So therefore, could you give them any kind of moral consideration, please? Because you don't have to do this to them and they are suffering tremendously. Could you please consider giving them moral consideration? I'm saying that right now instead of asking you, do you consider them slaves? That's a much nicer way to ask, right? Since you had a problem with that, I'm asking you.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And there are many.
Wait, no. The answer is yes or no. Can you give them?
No, this doesn't fit a yes or no question. In my opinion.
Can I ask you?
No, it doesn't.
Are fellow humans okay? Vishwa, yes or no?
Fellow humans are different. Fellow humans are different.
So yes or no, you will say if I come to human, you will surely say no.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You're clear on that. So
Yes.
in this
I'm
side,
clear on that. But on
yeah,
animal part, I have to have certain presumptions that that the rights and some sort of morality applies, and then I have to like assume certain actions or certain consumption behaviors as slavery. If I were to put that as a foundation,
not
and then
consumption
if I were to
behavior is
think
slavery.
am I
The consumption behavior, you eating meat is not slavery, Vishwa. You taking a fork and knife and doing this is not slavery. That's not slavery. Slavery took place to produce that product. I'm asking you to be, again, what's that word you use? Something back in some contributing factors.
so I
Slavery
didn't
was a
kill the animal.
You didn't, of course, but you paid for it to happen with your money. You voted for it. You chose to do it when you could have chosen to eat something else. You could have chosen to buy tofu instead. You can choose to buy something else instead. So
I don't do that because it's convenient for me to eat meat. It's convenient for me to choose any food. Yeah, it's convenient for me, and yeah, that's my belief.
yeah, so okay, fair enough.
And
You're
it's a
being
part of
honest.
my belief system.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're being honest. You
Yeah,
know you're being honest.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm saying, so your convenience for you trumps the moral consideration for these animals. Since it's inconvenient,
Your question has a problem. Your question has a problem there.
what is the problem?
Yeah, you apply moral frameworks on animals, and then you say is your behavior or is your consumption or is your say you slaughtering animal, is that do you consider that as slavery or not?
The consumption. The consumption is not slavery. You are
No.
supporting.
Supporting or me slaughtering an animal. You're asking me, do you consider that as slavery or not? I see problem with that question. You are framing the question in a way.
But I changed slavery. I told you, okay, fine. If that makes you feel odd, I'll
You
stop
have
saying that.
changed the word, but then the intent. The intent and you might change you might have changed the words, but the intention is the same. I have to assume that, oh yes, all these activities they fit under certain moral compass. Now, if I were to have those presumptions and then
No,
think about
Vishwa, I was not talking about
it,
the activity
it
or
would
the
eventually
finished
fall under
product.
slavery.
But no, I was not. Right
It
now,
would
I wasn't.
eventually fall under exploitation and slavery.
See, right now at the
This is
moment,
the problem.
I was not talking about the behavior of the product right now. I am talking about the animal before they are turned into the product and before you act upon your behavior on the product. I'm talking about the individual who was there in the behind the scenes. Okay,
He's working, man. He's working. He's getting paid. He's
not the
slaughtering.
human, not the human, not the human. The
No.
individual I meant the goat.
The human that's acting, the human that's slaughtering. It could be me. It could be someone else.
I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the one getting slaughtered. The goat, the chicken, the pig, the cow.
But who are you asking this question to? Are you asking this to the goat or to the human?
Bro, okay.
Or to me?
Can I be honest with you on something? I hope you don't take this offense to this. Is this usually the way you usually talk, or are you just trying to be extra? I don't know. It comes off, a lot of it to me personally. I hope it's offensive, comes off as mumbo jumbo. Okay, I'm asking you straightforward questions. This is not rocket science.
Bro, I have problems with that question. I have problems with that question.
But you're going on a different tangent. You can say, Arvind, I disagree with the question for reason 1, 2, 3. Boom, but done. But I feel like we're going on tangents here. You can say, the question I'm asking you again is the victim here in this regard. Would you at least agree?
Who's the victim here? Who's the victim here?
If someone stabs a knife on an animal, who's the victim, Vishwa?
Okay, stabbing a knife on an animal, for what purpose? Is it for food, or is it just for fun, or is it he just wanted to murder the animal?
For fun.
Okay, for fun is a different thing. For slaughtering an animal for food is a different thing, and killing an animal in defense is a different thing.
Fair enough.
So
I agree.
So now you see why I'm going in tangents is because your question did not include all of the contributing
and
factors.
You never asked this. If you ask this, I'll clarify. I'm clarifying right now. So I am saying it is for fun. It is for fun because people in this modern day and age, I told you the privileged people out there, they are not eating meat, dairy, and eggs because they need nutrition necessarily only from that source. They can choose another source. They're eating it because it's fun. It's tasty.
Okay, so you've made this conclusion now. So all privileged people eat meat and dairy for fun.
Yes.
Is this the way you think? Yeah. This is the problem with your thinking, Arvind.
Bro,
This is the problem with your thinking is that yes, there are people who do this. Yes, there are people who who just eat a lot of like there are people who eat for fun, but how do I take that subset and then I apply that to the whole, general population, and I say, yeah, there are people who do this.
I didn't. Haven't I made my message? You asked me, how do you create a vegan India, Arvind? And I told you exactly who I'm approaching, who I'm talking to,
that is
then
impossible. That is impossible.
Impossible is different from you now trying to say that what I'm doing is bogus. Impossible is different from saying...
I never said that. I never said that what you do is bogus. I never said that what you do is bogus. You are driven by a belief system, which I believe is impossible to implement on a larger scale. Is because this involves psychology. Is because this involves cultural context. It involves many other things which you do not account for.
Bro, if we can create, I'm sure this happens in your country as well. If we can create a system in which, let me finish this, okay? If we can create a system in which we forcefully make pregnant millions of cows every single year, make them give birth to babies, kill the babies, take the milk, put all the milk in a container, put it on a truck, send it straight to a factory, and then in the factory that milk is pasteurized and then taken out and then put into packets and thrown at 5 a.m. in everyone's doorstep. If that system can be made, trust me, we can make a plant-based system.
How can it be made? Like the practicality of the implementation is a problem.
The current
you believe that something is going to be possible on a larger scale. Of course, it will be possible at a smaller scale. You will definitely end up convincing a few other privileged people, no doubt. Of course, they will change the consumption behavior. There will be more companies, there'll be more brands willing to produce products.
I just want to say to the audience, when I say maybe both say privileged, I'm making it very clear. If you have 100 to 120 rupees a day and you're in India, you are privileged enough to be a vegan. I'm making that statement very clear. Because people, I'm not privileged. I have only 200 bucks a day. Oh, you are vegan. You can be vegan for sure. You just don't want to.
Yeah. And again, so this will be possible at a certain scale, but how can you be sure that this can be implemented at a larger scale? And also there are different market forces which will counter this. Yeah,
we fight them. That's what I'm doing right now. We fight.
It's okay, you fight. But you
ask me how, I'm saying we fight. That's how. That's the answer. We fight. We try. We make an effort.
Right, you try, you make an effort, you convert people, you show them all these horrific videos, right? And also again, what evidence do I have that these videos are not paid and made? Like, if you can make someone kill a human being, you can also make someone torture an animal, and then you can shoot a video, and then you can promote that as being, like an animal torture.
Can I please answer that?
Yeah.
You don't need to necessarily watch videos of animals being slaughtered to understand that animal bodies belong to them.
I know that.
My entire framework I was talking about from the beginning is not about how cruel we are. I'm not talking about the amount of cruelty. Maybe you could be less cruel and do something with an animal. I totally agreed. I am saying that from the beginning, slavery is wrong. Their body belongs to them. That's what I'm talking about from the beginning. And again, David, I'm asking Vishwa, when you say the world, okay, you kept bringing up this point, by the way, even earlier. You were saying, what data do you have? How do you know that we can make a change? You are aware, and you talk about how we can produce so much food. Are you aware that it's far more difficult to produce animal-based food than it is to produce plant-based food? The amount of land, amount of water, amount of resources that one needs to first feed these animals and fatten them up to then make them reach market weight to then kill and eat them is more difficult than directly just growing crops.
Overconsumption is a problem, like meat industry.
Not overconsumption. You're again not understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying that if I had so and so, you in your country, probably if you go to supermarket, you'll find aisles full of meat, right?
Yes.
And these come from a place that we call as factory farms, right? Have you heard of this term called factory farms? They breed
there are factory farms, and then there are also open farms, where the animals are left to graze, and then
that's not the point. Even they have a special feed. The point is that even those animals that are called grass-fed cows are not fed only grass. They're fed mainly grass. They're not fed only grass. So what happens is that animals are taken, and then you have to feed. So we have an acres of land right now, and did you know, for example, soybeans, which is what we vegans consume in the form of tofu and tempeh. If everyone were to eat these kind of foods right now, like tofu, for example, tofu is an amazing food, by the way. Have you tried tofu? By the way, I'm just asking.
I've tried. Yeah, I've tried.
It's an awesome food. I would say that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So if we were to grow soy only for tofu right now, we would need far, far, far less acres of land. 80% or something of all land on earth right now used for growing soy is used as animal feed. We are clearing up forests and acres of land. So if we become vegan, we have enough land to grow crops to feed everyone. The system works.
Right. Are you done?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So if in a hypothetical world, like when everyone becomes a vegan, the land that is used to feed the animals, to let the animals graze, what happens to those lands is used for crop culture. And crop culture is again exploitation of the ecosystem.
Here we go again.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. This debate is exactly about that. Is that you only talk about animal exploitation, you only talk about like slavery, and then like I'm thinking about, well,
what's your framework? Then give me your framework, Vishwa. I gave you mine. You never give me yours.
I maybe if I'm like paid to do it, yeah, then maybe I will be able to present a framework. But yeah, like I just because
but
like
if
just
you
because
don't, if you
just
don't
because
have a
I raise
framework, then we can't take you seriously.
Just because I raise questions, just because I have concerns on veganism, you cannot ask me about like my framework.
No,
I do not know.
But if you are raising a counter argument to me saying that you have another ideology which you feel is valid.
I did not mention that I have another ideology. I have a belief system. Look, I have a belief system.
Based on what? What's the framework of the system? What's the framework of that? What do you base it on? You have to base it on something. You believe what?
I do not understand a lot about ecosystem. I do not understand a lot about sentience. I do not understand much about the interconnectedness, and I'm left to live in a world where I cannot control like much of the market forces. Like, so I'm left with competing ideologies, right? Well, when I say it's not me. Like, it's like many people like us. Like, it's a human population. So you are left with a world where you have to choose, something, where you have to choose an ideology, you have to choose, where you're constantly being influenced by different ideas, being, dragged towards them so that they influence your consumption behavior. When I say consumption, it's not just the food.
Bro,
it's also the content that you consume.
No, I have to stop you here. You are just being dishonest, okay? You already have a belief system. You can say you don't. But you do. You have a belief system, but you already hold a value.
I eat meat.
Yeah, you told that.
Yeah, I eat
but
meat.
you have a belief system where you
but I
do
don't
not
defend.
Give,
but I'm not defending. But I'm not defending meat eaters.
You don't give moral. Bro, it's not about defending or not defending. It's about being accountable for your actions. You are unwilling. Every time I go and ask accountability from you, you just. You talk a lot, man. You talk a lot.
If I have to circle down on accountability, which means that firstly, I need to be in a position where I understand a lot of things. Like, I have so many questions. I have to make sure that I have answers for them, and only then I can circle down. I can narrow down.
Is that how you base every other choice in your life on? You make sure you have every single interaction.
I don't.
Like, for example, you might make a new friend. You might marry someone. Doesn't mean that you know every single thing about the future or everything.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So therefore, double standards. Got it. Okay. When it comes to animals, double standards. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Everyone does. Even you have double standards. Like, you only care for animals. You don't care for a whole lot of other species. Yeah, you said you don't. You just let them die in collateral damage, and you're aware of it.
Yeah, and I asked you for a solution. And I asked you for a solution, and you said
there's no solution to that.
Exactly.
There is no solution to that.
So why hold me accountable for something to?
I'm not holding. I am not holding you accountable. My concern.
No, you are pointing towards me. You are using me as a scapegoat. You're pointing at me and saying, Arvind is this way, so I will be this way.
My concern with veganism is your expansionist policy, which will end up sidelining a lot of communities, right? Arvind, you may understand. Arvind, you may understand a lot of things. You may be wise, but then your followers might not consider, or they might completely skip they might completely skip history, or they might completely skip someone's lifestyle. They might not they might not have the same empathy that they have towards animals. They might not have the same empathy towards humans, whom they think are consuming meat and hence are making like a wrong choice.
Well, what if they say that they don't have the answer to everything, which is why they are the way that they are?
I haven't heard this from them.
Is there a valid answer? If someone were to just go around doing whatever they want and you ask them, well, guess what, folks? I don't know how everything holistically works. Therefore, I do what I do.
No. That's not the case.
But it works for Vishwa. It works for Vishwa when we bring up animals that he eats. Okay, it works that way. Right.
Yeah, I eat animals. Yes, I eat animals.
That excuse works for you. That excuse works for you when I bring up the animals that you eat.
Okay. So how do you look at a person who has chosen to go on a vegan diet, who doesn't harm animals, but doesn't believe in veganism?
What does that even mean? Like someone who's plant-based?
Yeah. Plant-based diet.
We have a word.
Right?
Plant. The word is called plant-based. Yeah, people are there. They don't give two hoots about animals.
Plant-based.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I try to talk to them.
So they exist.
They exist.
Okay.
Yeah, they exist.
Okay.
I talk to them and try to make them vegan because they're not vegan. Because guess what? Someone who's plant-based will ride a horse.
Okay.
They'll go to the zoo. They'll buy pets. Yeah. So they're not vegan. They'll go fishing for fun.
So how about someone who does everything else, right? Who does like everything that a vegan must do, except for the fact that they don't believe in veganism? Like except for the fact they don't believe in promoting veganism, and they don't
have to promote it. I am not asking anyone to promote it. I am choosing to do that.
They don't believe in the ideology, but they do everything that like veganism says that you must follow.
Then I will talk to them like how I talk to you, and I will try to give them information and hopefully try to make them think. That's all I can do.
No. How would you consider them? Like
how would I consider them?
Yeah, and who are they in your perspective?
Not vegan. They're non-vegans. You've made it very clear.
They're non-vegans, okay.
Yeah.
So how about
or
a person?
Is the best way you can say it. Yeah.
Okay. So how about a person who goes and talks about veganism, tries convincing people, converts people, but then behind closed doors eats meat, and you don't know about it, but I know about them, and if they do it, what evidence do you have? And how do you judge them? And you believe that they are acting in good faith, but in fact behind
Vishwa,
those
someone lies
they are
to
not.
me. So someone lies to me basically.
Yeah.
They're lying to me. Can I understand whether going with this thought process?
No. But you do not know whether they are lying to you.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously,
this can happen with you, Arvind. What evidence do I have that you're a vegan? Except for you going and promoting and talking to people and trying to convince them.
Buddy, if we have reached this point of the arguments, this is what actually I say to people, and they say you didn't say that. I say, people say plants feel pain. I tell them, bro, if we reach this part of the argument of the debate, then we know you're completely empty in the tank right now. There's nothing left for you. If you have to doubt,
bro, this is for the audience, right? This debate is it's not just for us. This debate, it's also for the audience, right? So let them think. Yeah. Let them contemplate right now, because someone who's just become a vegan right now, they might have all sorts of ideas.
Why only vegan? You can make any accusation. What if Arvind's a thief?
Because I'm debating
what if Arvind's a kidnapper? Huh?
Yeah.
So
how do I know it? How do I know it? I don't, right? I don't.
Yeah, you don't. Therefore,
I have to have faith, right? I have to have some faith, right? So, and I believe that Arvind is a good actor. Right, so that's
What do you conclude? All hypothetical statements.
So the conclusion is that it is a belief system that that people may choose to adopt or may not choose to adopt, and it's also a belief system that could very much turn into a radical ideology or something that could be weaponized. Given that. Yes, it can be weaponized.
My guy, that's not why I'm exasperated. It's not for the weaponized part. My guy, again, I hope we can speak to each other respectfully, but I'm not being rude, okay? The same thing I said to Pari the other day. You're blabbering, my guy. You are just going on a tangent about something that has no relevance to the final conclusion you're giving. Arvind, what if you could be this, you could be that? Therefore, veganism, you already been over the fact about what you think veganism is. You've already explained your side clearly. You're just going on loop, but then giving a new tangent and coming back to the same conclusion. A new tangent, same conclusion. My guy, I feel like, you know what? I feel like, Vishwa, you're just messing with me. Or is this really you? Is this really Vishwa Balasubramanian? Or are you messing with me?
Yeah.
This is you.
Yeah, this was me, yeah.
Yeah,
messing
this
like
is-
messing. Let messing be that conscious attempt, like me trying to understand you and like me trying to test you, and I've got to know that this is this is you have an ideal and you want that to spread, like you want that you want that to you want to preach this to people, you want to garner more attention, and you enjoy it. Right now, you seem to enjoy it. Right now, you see all the comments down on the comment section. Definitely, like there's a sense of achievement.
See,
That's
again,
all involved
another
in this.
tangent, which is totally fine. But
Yeah,
this
like
tangent,
all those tangents
but this
exist.
tangent equals to back to the original conclusion.
Arvind, the tangents exist.
Yeah.
Tangents
but you
exist,
have to
right?
you have to conclude. No, your tangents don't conclude anywhere new. You go back to the same old route. Like
They will not, right? No, because you come from the stance that veganism is right and you stand for something. You can conclude. I don't stand for anything.
exactly. So yeah, you don't
I
stand
don't-
for it. In
I don't
regards to
stand for
animals-
it.
No. You stand for many things. For
I
sure.
don't-
As a human being, you do, of course, obviously.
Yeah, of course. Like
as a human, of course, you do.
There are
stand
many
for
things I
many
stand
things.
for. Like
Yeah, of course. This is one convenient thing because here's the thing, bro. Animals, you can
Yes, it is
kill
convenience.
them. Yeah, you can kill them, torture them, do whatever you
Yeah.
want to them, and get
Yeah.
away with it totally fine because it's legal.
Yeah.
And of course, the people like me who go around speaking for these innocent beings, we are the ones who seem like cuckoo because guess what? You can bully
innocent
us.
beings, like what about
Wait,
the
wait.
other beings?
Hold on, buddy.
What about the other beings that being they're being killed as a collateral damage?
You can call us whatever name, say that we're working for some corporate paying us all this agenda and stuff. But when I say make a comparison to other social justice movements, you will be like, no, Arvind, you can't get that out of my mouth, bro. You are just you just enjoy the convenience society gives you to be a hypocrite. It's like right now, Vishwa has
Okay,
a pair
hypocrite
of
now. Okay.
yeah. I'm not. Vishwa has a pair of blinders on his eyes, and he's as happy as he can be. That's it. I try to take it off. Arvind, don't put it back right on. This is how I want to be. Okay, bro. You're just being honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I don't and I believe that I don't have to agree to your belief systems and your ideology, because I find a lot of gaps and I have so many unanswered questions. Right?
How long have you been going on, by the way? How long has this been going right
It's
now?
almost like 2 hours now. Yeah, it's almost 2 hours.
Okay, damn. Okay. Do you have any more specific questions you would like to ask, or are you kind of you think you have expressed most of what you wanted to say?
It's done, man. It's
From
it's
your
done.
side, you're done.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. From my side, it's done. Yeah. If you have any questions, yeah, you can ask me, or
I
we
mean,
can call it off.
I guess at this point, what more can I ask? We've pretty much covered everything that I wanted to ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you know what? Maybe for just the heck of it, I'd like to ask you a question and give you your time to just speak. But I hope I can hear something new instead of. But you know what? I'll leave it to you. Dear Vishwa, why do you choose to still not be a vegan despite being completely aware of everything that's happening? Because you are a smart guy. Clearly, you are. Why do you still choose to not be a vegan? Please answer me.
Am I completely aware? I cannot answer that question. I don't know, and I don't know if I'm completely aware. I do have some level of awareness, I do see certain issues, but are those issues enough for me to make a decision? I don't think so. I feel I don't have enough information. I'm not saying that I don't want to take action, but just that I don't have enough information to make the right choice. And also, I have questions on the available alternatives.
Can we talk about
questions?
that? Can we talk about that? Why not? What questions do you have about alternatives?
Am I solving the problem of ecological imbalance? No, I'm not.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not, right?
But do you agree that by driving a car also you don't solve the problem?
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
ecological
I
So
don't.
you will engage in other activities to which you don't have a clear answer to, but when it comes to veganism, to which also you don't have a clear answer to, you refuse to engage. Is that a fair way of me to portray it?
Yes, and I don't I can do certain things to avoid, but then I don't end up doing them because it's convenient for me.
Mm.
It is convenient for me to drive a car. It is convenient for me to eat meat. It is convenient for me to choose a vegetarian diet. It is convenient for me to adopt an idea for a certain amount of time, explore it, experience it, and then to drop it, and then to catch something else. I do this because it is convenient for me, and a lot of people do things because it is convenient for them, or they can't help themselves and get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. All right, fine. So I guess before we close things off, both of us have to be given a chance to give our ending statements. So would you like to give yours first, or shall I go? How would you like it? Like
Ending statements,
and of
like
course,
what does it need to reflect?
So like of length, you mean?
Like
You mean
ending
like how long?
statements, like what does it need to reflect?
Oh,
Like,
what
does
I
it
mean
need
is
to
that you
reflect?
can pretty much condense everything you would like for the audience to know about yourself, like what your message is, what you were trying to convey in this entire podcast, and what's the takeaway they can get from you, what your message is basically to them. If here's the weird part about you, that is, if you will say you don't even have a message. Yeah, I know you have spoken enough for you now to understand. You'll say, no, I don't have a message. I'm just here to think. Pretty
Look,
much.
I look, like I am not in a position to give a framework, but of course, like what I will like motivate people is to engage in critical thinking, right? Is to engage in critical thinking and try and observe for like things that you don't normally observe. Look for things that is not spoken about. Look for like layers, like look for interconnectedness. Like be a systems thinker. So develop that level of thinking, because I believe that you cannot propose a viable solution without understanding a problem in its entirety. And in order to do that, you have to spend a lot of time thinking about your own solutions and see and think about the consequences. Because if you don't do that, any solution that you come up with will eventually have more consequences. And as you can see, that humanity, like let it be like meat consumption, or let it be pollution or global warming or like whatever, everything is a result of not understanding problem quite enough, not asking the right questions or enough questions, and eventually, which leads to a solution that has unintended consequences, and which is the reason why we have like so many movements and so many like rights activism and problems and issues going on, is because like everything can be tied back to this inability of ours of not being able to think enough. Yeah. So so I would start from there. So it could be from your personal life, right? So what are you doing currently? How's your personal life? How can you improve it? Like what differently can you do to to bridge the gaps in your own life? Because if you don't do that, eventually you'll want to be a part of something bigger, and then you will end up being a problem in that bigger ideal because of your unresolved problems. Yeah, so that's my message.
All right, fair enough. Now, obviously, I'm not going to I'll give mine and then we just have to cut it, else it'll just keep going back and forth. So
sure.
He did bring up one issue that's out of the blue and quite new in the end. And he actually did mention this in the beginning, but we never, I guess, managed to deep dive into it much. And that was the topic of you have unresolved issues within you, and then you pick up a cause just to fill the gap, fill the hole. And then you end up getting bored, you drop it and want something even better. So you then chase after that. And he kind of portrayed veganism as something like that. If you have a problem in the way in which you find purpose in life, you have to attack that differently. You don't have to bring in animal rights into this. They don't have to be combined at all. And from my honest opinion, Vishwa, I would label him as a human supremacist. That's what I would say. There are different human beings who are white supremacists. There are some people who are male chauvinists. Then there are human supremacists who say that they just don't care about animals at all. And even if you point it out, he is able to speak in such a way, confidently, where it sounds sophisticated and extremely deep and meaningful, although it has nothing in relation to do with the subject at hand. So it's like we just go deeper and deeper without meaning. We just happen to go deeper and deeper without meaning, whereas and then we draw back that depth to the conclusion we already drawn earlier. That's what I'm getting from this entire conversation. It's like, hey bro, I don't care, but I think what you're doing is bad. and I won't listen either way. And regardless of whatever answers you give me, I'll say I still have questions that aren't answered. There will forever be questions I don't know. And therefore, that for some reason justifies my behavior and my thoughts. And when you ask me fairly, when I make statements like the cause you're fighting for is like a religion, and then you take out those three aspects and say, hey, look, these aspects exist here as well. Aren't these like religions too? And then he'll be like, no, I don't want to talk about this. So I find that to be extremely dishonest. And I would say don't be like him. I just have to be honest. So that would be my closing statement. Yeah, but regardless of a difference in opinions, I have to say to Vishwa, thank you so much, because in his country right now, it's nearly 12 a.m. There was no reason for him to stay up this late and talk to me on a Friday evening about this. He could probably be spending good time with his family. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Vishwa. I really respect you for doing that. It has not been easy to arrange this podcast when we're literally across the ocean in 2 different time zones with different countries, but you are very cooperative. And yeah, thank you for coming on and presenting your points. I leave it in the end of the day to the audience, however, to always decide what they wish to take away from this discussion and what they want to do in their life. So I guess that's pretty much that. Or do you want to say something? Is this, I can see it's like as if you're holding back on saying something. Are you holding back?
Yeah. So you said, don't be like Vishwa. Why is that? Because you thought that I was being dishonest, and I also pointed out why. Right? I told
Convenience.
you convenience was a different topic. I told you during that argument, I told you that there are many contributing factors. That there are many contributing factors. Now you mixed up everything together, and then you have made this description about me that don't be like him. Look, Arvind, if you want people on your side, you want them to be thinkers, not just consumers, right? You want to have people who can think, or you want people like zombies. The audience can decide. If you want to keep this particular lines of mine, you're open to, and maybe if you cut it, I don't know. But
I won't. And plus all of this audio is being given to you either way.
You need people who challenge your stance. You need people who challenge their own stance. You need people who will keep questioning about their own beliefs, right? Because just because I choose an ideology, I may not have the right mindset, right? So you need to have the right mindset first. You need to ask the right questions, right? Because you might be promoting the right ideology, but what if you were the wrong person? So how do I come to know that? So all these things, your followers, or not your followers, but anyone who wants to adopt an ideology needs to attempt to question and then find answers. So
he's doing again what I just described, folks.
Yeah, absolutely. You need that, man. You are expecting people to consume information and be agreeable. Sorry, how can I be agreeable? To something that I cannot.
I'm expecting honesty. That's it.
No, you are expecting me to be agreeable. I'm here to present. I was here to present my points. Right? I don't have to be agreeable. I'm here to present my points.
I didn't ask you.
And I told you my challenges. The reason why I think they are challenges is because I'm not able to find the right answers. If I find the right answers, of course, I might change my stance. Right? So I am open to it. Right? And I'm open to ideas that are convincing enough. And if they answer my questions, yes. And that doesn't necessarily have to be an ideology that exists. I might end up creating my own. So I'm being honest to myself. Maybe I was going in circles. Maybe I did not present points 1, 2, 3. But I was being honest to myself. I cannot agree to something that you say, hey Vishwa, say yes or no. Why would I even say yes or no? Because I have concerns or I have problems with the question itself.
Because then bro will be asked to be accountable.
Yeah.
You're smart. So you're nope, I will avoid the question.
Of course, man. You try to put words into my mouth. And you'll say, are you accountable for this? You need to be accountable for this and that.
we can talk on a logical level, but you dodge the question using semantics and
yes,
words.
yes, and I will.
Yeah, I mean, if as long as you're honest about that, then cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but you want to end it on a negative note like this?
It was like, it's like from my side, the positive thing is that like all of this is gonna let audience like think, like it's gonna give them like a space, where they like listen to us, they like contemplate, and like I'm hopeful that that like it does like provide them that opportunity to think and then like ask some bigger questions rather than just consuming whatever is available on the internet or like whatever is shown to them. Yeah, that's it, man. And like,
exactly. Yeah, don't be non-vegan.
So it's so it's a very positive thing to me, and definitely. Of course, if you want to be like Arvind, then you need to go and like convince people to agree. Like you'll have to like force them, like put words into their mouth.
Yeah, wow. Imagine folks putting words in someone's mouth or putting knives in someone's throats. Wow. Yeah, totally.
Like
you're totally the victim, bro. Totally. Not the animals that you killed. No, you're the victim. Yeah, totally, bro. Totally.
Victim, man. Who's the victim? Like, I didn't cry. I was a victim.
No, you're saying that I'm putting words in your mouth. I'm saying, that's surely much more.
I'm just dodging it. Like, I'm just dodging it. Like, no, because eventually you want me to accept.
Dodging it, man.
You want me to accept. Like, you want me to accept that veganism is right, or you want me to accept that at certain level, I have to I have to agree to certain arguments that you make. Well, certain arguments are valid. Arguments are valid. Like there are many arguments that are valid.
I'm taking your arguments and I'm showing you how they're inconsistent in certain areas, and that's when you choose to just back off.
It's not enough. In my opinion, it's not enough.
In my opinion, it's not enough. You choose to ignore it, bro. You choose to ignore it.
In my opinion, it's not enough. Yeah, it's not enough. Right. So see, just because I disagree with something, it's not because I choose to ignore it. I feel that it's not enough. It's not convincing enough. Right. And I feel that like there are more questions to be answered, and there are still like gaps in human understanding. That's my opinion.
Yeah, which will always be there. But okay, so Vishwa,
and we can finish this.
Where are we going to stop this? We both gave a speech like I think 10 minutes ago. It's done. Okay. Awesome. I wish you a good night, a safe journey back home. The entire podcast can be found on my channel, and once it's uploaded, you're more than welcome to always use any footage for whatever you want, and I'll send you a copy of everything that I have on screen to you. Give me a few days, maybe. I don't know when I'll get this stuff. Okay, man. Take care. Do
awesome,
well.
Bro.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Nice talking to you.
Bye.
Yeah. Take care.
Nice talking to you. Bye.